Hey guys, welcome to the RetroBound Podcast. I'm going to be one of your hosts, Nick, also known as BlazerGamer112. I have with me my other co-host.
This is Kyle. Welcome to the BPSLPs podcast. I'm just here as a special guest.
Yeah, normally it would be Kyle, me, and one other guest, but due to the fact that I'm playing this game because upon a request of a friend, he is also joining us. Would you guys introduce yourselves?
Who's going first?
Sean, you go first.
You go first.
All right, I'll go first. This is Sean. You can follow me on Twitch at, I think it's Sean. What the hell's my Twitch
You
name?
don't even
I think
use
it's-
Twitch.
I think it's SeanQuinnSports, right?
Yeah.
It is SeanQuinnSports. There you go.
Wait. Oh, wait.
Oh, great. Another account that Carl's not following.
Everybody follow his channel so that he can start streaming. Am I following you yet? I don't remember.
I don't remember. Either way, I never stream, but hey, maybe someday I'll start streaming.
There we go. Give you
And
a
I'm
follow.
here for emotional support for Nick. I'm his emotional support Francis.
All right, Carl.
And I'm Carl. I'm also known as PhantoYoshiVR. And my Twitch follow name is also twitch.tv/PhantoYoshiVR. I think that's about it. I don't need to plug it. I don't have to do it full plug, do I?
No, you don't have to. You just have to say who you are. So this podcast is going to be slightly special. So we decided, since it's the end of the year of 2020, we decided to make a list that first consists of games that were released in 2020 that each of us have played. This is kind of like going to be a short list for most of us due to the fact that most of us are not like heavy gamers. And so the list is going to be a little bit like inconsistent here and there, but we still go through the pit while I played the Pit of 100 Trials, we can also mention some honorable mentions that we've played in 2020 that for games that we aren't necessarily released in 2020. So if you guys want to do that too.
Yeah, so the length of the podcast or what we talk about today will just kind of depend on Nick's progress through the pit. So we're starting with it's an actual Game of the Year 2020 list, where we're just going to talk about our favorite games of this year that came out this year. And then if we're still going, or progress is slow at a certain point, we can talk about games that didn't actually come out this year, but we played for the first time this year, or are worth talking about as memorable game experiences of the year. And if we're still going beyond that point, we can also talk about games that we're looking forward to that are coming out next year.
Yep. And we'll see how far I go. So as we start, I would say I want to go last in the order. So Kyle, Sean, and Carl, who wants to go first, then second and third?
Should we go in that order that you just named?
Yeah, I think
There
that's
you
a
go.
good idea.
Carl, what order did I just say?
You said Kyle, Sean, Carl. is
Sean,
what I
Carl.
said.
Okay. All right. And then when I go down this pipe, we're gonna start. So here we go. That's not down. Pit of 100 Trials, do you wish to enter? Do you want to leave and go in? Nah, I want to go in. Take me in, baby.
Yeet, podcast over. You're not going in.
All right, go, Kyle.
Okay, so the first game I'll talk about today is actually a game that I have not finished yet, but it did come out this year, and I have played a fair number of hours into it. And it links well with this game too, because that game is Paper Mario Origami King on Nintendo Switch.
Woo! The new one.
Yeah, so I've played a fair number of hours into this game, but it's been a few months since I've played it now. I just kind of at a certain point stopped playing, so it's just too busy with other stuff and haven't gotten back to it yet. But I think it's worth talking about as a new game in the Paper Mario series that is still kind of detached from the story-based RPG formula of the first couple Paper Mario games, but it's definitely known as the best so far of the, I guess, more, I don't know what to call it, the second wave of Paper Mario games, you could say. So it has a different combat system that's based on turn-based, it's a mix of turn-based RPG and puzzle, where you have to line up all of the enemies in a row and fight them. And at first that combat system was a bit weird to me, but I don't know, you get used to it after a while. And I think the boss battles of the game is where the combat system works the best, where it's almost like playing a board game in a weird way. It's a bit hard to describe for people who haven't seen gameplay of Origami King, but Yeah, I think it has like the game looks very pretty. It has like the humor and the dialogue and like the charm of like the paper effects. So in the style of the newer Paper Mario games that are just about kind of goofy dialogue and like exploring the paper world of the Paper Mario universe, I think Origami King is a pretty solid entry to that second wave of the series.
Oh, nice dot game.
How does it differ from games in recent times? You had like Sticker Star, and is that the other one on the Wii?
Well, I actually haven't played Color Splash because I don't own a Wii U, but I have played all the way through Sticker Star, and Sticker Star is definitely like the weakest in the series. I would say one similarity it has to games like Sticker Star is that sometimes the combat can feel kind of unrewarding because you don't actually like level up. In Origami King, like you don't get experience from battles, and so sometimes it can kind of feel like battling is a waste of your time. But it's also pretty easy to avoid enemy encounters in the overworld anyway. But I would say the similarity is, I guess just like the paper-based puzzles that you solve, and just kind of the funny banter between characters. Though, Sticker Star had kind of a weird level design where it's like you'd be on a world map and you'd enter each part of the game as if it were like a stage in like Super Mario World or something, and that's kind of one of the more off-putting parts of Sticker Star, I think, is that it doesn't even feel like an RPG much of the time. But Origami King actually does take place on like an overworld that you explore, and you go from like one area to the next. So it does feel, even though the battle system is a bit experimental, it does feel a lot more like an RPG than some of the previous second wave Paper Mario games.
Yep.
So Origami King made by the same developers from the past Paper Mario games?
Only up to Sticker Star.
Ah.
Alright, so that's what I had to say about that game. So next is Sean with your first game of the list.
Alright, well this one will not come as a surprise to anybody. I actually, was it Carl that told me about Phasmophobia?
Nope, me.
Oh, you. So, Nick or Carl, yeah, Nick, told me a couple months back that there's this new game that he really wants me to try. I think, Carl, were you the first one to play it or stream it, or was it Nick? I know Nick told me about it first. Who, actually, played it first?
I don't.
We played it first together.
Okay, so, anyway, make a long story short, Nick told me about this very interesting horror game, and I believe this is the first ever horror video game I've ever played in my life. Not really big into horror. I've never played like Silent Hill or Resident Evil or anything like that. And Nick just said this game's really cool. It's relatively new, called Phasmophobia. And the object of the game was, of course, to essentially collect pieces of evidence using different mannerisms, such as using what's called an EMF reader, or which is like just a little 1 to 5 scale radar, basically, or like a spirit box, which is like a walkie-talkie with ghosts. And this game has just encompassed my life just because of how many different ghosts that you can encounter and how terrifying it is to run away from a ghost during a hunt. And it's really obviously allowed me and Nick and Carl to bond over more multiplayer games. You know, we always used to just focus on Paper Mario games, whereas this game, you know, has brought us together in a whole different way, especially because I'm a huge horror fan. And so it's really been cool. And of course, Nick, I believe it's one person as the developer, correct?
Yep.
So obviously, you know, it's great that we're supporting independent games in that regard too. Just a single developer making this game that I think at the Game Awards won Best Debut Game. Is that correct? So yeah, the game has certainly made a huge impact.
Best VR game.
On Steam, best VR game.
Yeah, it's up for Best VR Game on the Steam Awards. I think the game has just been incredible. It's really created great bonding between me, Nick, and Carl, or Carl, Nick, and I. And yeah, it's by far my favorite game of 2020.
All right. I was waiting for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, James, that game, and James, I should also mention that you're a big part of that bonding too. I bring in Carl and Nick because we've been playing multiplayer games since middle school, which I think has been...
High school for me.
Oh, high school. So
yeah, that's true, because we didn't meet Carl until, because, Sean and I, to give context, Sean and I met since, elementary due to band and everything. but we never we didn't fully bond over until middle school because we were then taking the same class, and then Carl didn't join us until high school because he was taking like a different school and everything.
Hi everyone, welcome to the high school band stories episode of RetroBound Podcast.
I would say that Carl, when we sort of came together, we really obviously we started BPSLPs as in order to really celebrate our multiplayer games, and I think Phasmophobia has certainly branched away from just Mario Party, which has been awesome.
Yeah, because now we don't have to rage over luck. Now we can just rage over each other's potential incompetence.
Yeah, I wonder who you're referring to, Carl.
Alright, Carl just got name dropped.
sorry.
A good segue for Carl to introduce his first game.
Okay, so for mine, okay, so I have no idea what order we're going in terms of,
I think
like,
Just
Kyle's
name it
going
whatever
from...
order you want. I'm saving my favorite game of the year for last.
Same here.
game.
I started with my favorite first.
Yeah. Okay, so my first game of 2020, okay, so this one may not actually count for some people, but honestly, I have, like, literally nothing. Like, I have very little games to list. So, the first game I'm gonna list is Super Mario 3D All-Stars. Now, to be fair, like, this game is a re-release of 3 games, but it technically released in 2020, and I just want to...
Hello?
Oh,
It's okay.
Hey, Mike.
What's up, Mike? We're doing a podcast right now, just FYI.
so... Pretty much, what I like about this collection is that
Oh.
it gives me the opportunity to play all 3 games, like, for the first time, like, in forever, and some, like, the first time ever. For example, like, Super Mario 64 and Sunshine I've actually never played before, until now. And I find them to be actually pretty good. Not... it's my favorite, but... But I'd still say that they're very good platformers. Now, Galaxy, on the other hand, that's still currently my favorite 3D Mario game of all time. And
No doubt about it. Great game.
playing it on the Switch is actually amazing. Like, I've gotten fairly used to the motion controls again, and it makes, like, and also, like, binding the spin attack to a button and not just like a motion input is actually a godsend, because it actually makes things a lot more accurate for me. Now, the only reason why that I have this game, like, so low on the list is purely because it is a re-release. But other than that, I've enjoyed my time with 3D All-Stars.
All right, with that, I'll go
Back to Nick.
So really quickly, I want to mention this before before I go on with my list. Hi Grace, thank you for having me in the background. I hope your streaming going well. And also, dude, yeah, I do agree. I hate the blooper surfing and race surfing. Those were not my favorites when I first played it, because I played Sunshine as a kid. And also a quick note. I will not be reading out chat as fast as like I usually do, due to the fact that I want to make sure I don't go interrupt everyone. But I will be reading chats during the intermissions where people stop talking, kind of thing. So I am reading your chats. I just won't be responding as fast. Anyway, going on my list.
Thank you, gracious host.
Yeah, Grace. Oh my God! Jerker's placement. So on my list, so I decided to just add this because kind of the same reasons as Carl, and like in the sense, I was debating whether to put it on my list or not. I'm a kid. Oh, okay.
Hey Nick, quick question.
Yeah.
Do you want me to like be writing these down by any chance, just to like keep it on track of, or doesn't matter?
What?
Like the games we all like of 2020, or
You don't have to. No.
If you have your list written down,
I guess I can note them to make fun of how many dupes we have.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but okay. That's welcome to the stream. I mean, all of us are kind of like all old here because we played a lot of old games when we were. But I hope we don't make things too awkward for you, dude. Kind of teen. I mean, 13's teen. Anyway, my game is 3D All-Stars. Same thing as Carl's, and pretty much the same reasons as Carl's why I put it so low on my list. So I'm not gonna repeat anything, but I did put it on there because I did enjoy and I did play all the games for a little bit, though I never completed Galaxy due to the main reason that I already 100%ed it twice. And spoilers, you do have to beat the game twice. Like, you have to beat the game twice if you want 100% every single thing, because the second time you have to play as Luigi. So I didn't really feel like up to 100%ing that, but I never 100%ed 64 or Sunshine, so I decided to, like, why not just play them 100%. And overall, I did enjoy it, but I'm pretty disappointed with the overall package, because I feel like they could have done better. But that's just me. Maybe they had other constraints or stuff, but I definitely think Nintendo could have done better with this whole package if they took some time with it. But that's all I really have to say with 3D All-Stars. All right, Kyle.
All right, next game for me. And I am also noting each game on your guys' lists so we can compare later on. But the next game I have to talk about today is this is a game that I don't think anybody else will have on their lists, so that's good. It's a unique entry. It's a game called If Found, or If Found ... It's a game on Steam as well as mobile devices, and I actually don't remember exactly how I came across this game, but I think it might have been on like the Steam store. I found it in like games that were related to or similar to maybe Left on Red or Imposter Factory, like other games that came out or are supposed to come out this year that have kind of like a narrative focus. But anyway, If Found is basically like a visual novel type game in which you're going through the diary of a trans woman protagonist, like looking at her memories, and like you have to, the way you go from like one memory to the next is by erasing all of the details on each page, like you're like throwing away all of her old memories. And the game has a really interesting setting where it takes place in Ireland in the 90s, and like because the game uses like a lot of Irish slang and like references to Irish culture, like it has like footnotes in the diary that you can look at to like translate certain colloquial phrases or like cultural concepts, which I thought was really interesting. It's almost like the game had kind of like an educational dimension to it, like teaching about Irish culture, both the ways in which Irish culture is unique and also in like the insight into kind of like the conservative Catholic Irish culture of that time that made this protagonist feel so out of place. But the game has really beautiful art direction and music, and the story is really the story was really moving, and I think a necessary story to tell is like a kind of narrative that you wouldn't see in games that often. The game actually did get nominated for the game, was it the Game Awards?
Yeah, it was like
the Game Awards. It was nominated in the Games for Change category, which to me, I haven't actually like watched that awards ceremony before or seen that category. To be honest, having a Games for Change category, it's about games that tell a different kind of narrative. It almost seems like kind of like a token entry of like a LGBT category game into an award ceremony. But like the game goes like far beyond that. I think like it is for anybody who's looking for like just an interesting like experimental narrative game, or a game that tells like a different kind of story, I'd recommend If Found. I think it's only like $15 or so on Steam. And I also streamed it on my channel recently, so people can find the highlight there if they're interested in looking in that game before purchasing it.
Does the game make reference to the Troubles?
To the what?
The Troubles, like back in the 90s when like Ireland was like extremely anti-Britain.
I don't think there's any reference to like Irish independence or anything like that. Most of like the cultural stuff is just like slang between characters or reference to like Catholic like religious traditions. The game takes place around Christmas. That plays a role in it. But there's also another interesting thing I forgot to mention is that there's like a nod to like the punk rock culture and how this trans character finds like a sense of belonging in like the punk scene the first time she goes to a show, which
Zombie.
And like I was never really involved in like the punk scene in the US in terms of like actually going to shows, but I have been during my time in Japan, and like I've seen how just like the kind of sense of like acceptance of like alternative lifestyles and like the punk and hardcore community. So it's interesting to see that represented in a video game story.
Yep.
Sounds like my kind of game.
No, it is like it's an actually cool looking game. I've seen a little bit of Kyle's playthrough. I didn't see all of it, but it was definitely like a worthwhile game to try. That's why I always like game for changes. Like any game for change, like games are just always like they're worth trying it. Because
recommend it. It's like a hidden gem that has like, you know, different story and different gameplay than what you typically see. Even of a visual novel, like usually visual novels, you just like click through stuff or just walk around, but like the way you like erase stuff and like read the story and like check the footnotes of like the Gaelic language usage, like it's a different kind of game.
I know a visual novel that erases things. It erases life.
Oh, okay, I thought you were going to say something else.
nah. Also
Nick knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah. There'll also note by Dudot. That's interesting that this game was your very first Paper Mario game. Other than Origami King. Yeah. I mean, I would say this is a nice start to the Paper Mario series, but definitely a lot of fan favorites for the Paper Mario series is the Thousand Year Door specifically. A lot of fan favorites. This is just one of those black sheep games that people don't like because of the different aspects of gameplay. Anyway, Sean, you're up. Take it.
Sorry, I had to go look at my list. Alright, second game for me. This is my second favorite game of the year that came out in 2020. No surprise, it's FIFA 21. Now, I know, EA is an evil, corrupt organization that puts out the same shit year after year after year after year. You don't have to tell me that it is wow, that is dickish enemy placement.
Yes.
It's twice now. I understand the game is like just it's bad, and the fact that EA continues year after year to get away with the same old shit, as I like to put it. And Madden 21 was the big one of the it is deservedly so is one of the worst video games of all time, and it should be called that because it's trash. But my point to why I enjoy FIFA 21 is I'm a big guy into career modes in sports games. I'm a sports game player. And for me, anytime they can continue to revamp a career mode year after year after year, you've got my money. And admittedly, FIFA 21 does have a lot of new career mode features that I really appreciate, mainly revolving around developing younger soccer players. So that I really do like. And despite the fact that the gameplay is basically the same damn thing, same damn recipe, same material, and nothing really has changed the last 6 or 7 years, and I'd argue the games just have continued to get worse and worse and worse. I'm still going to keep playing it until Nick eventually rips my EA playing privileges away from me.
It's not just Nick, Sean.
A lot of us is going to rip that EA privileges away from you. I keep telling him every single year, do not spend $60 freaking on this kind of game.
We understand that you like career mode and stuff like that, but $60 just for that?
$60 for just a minimally different game year after year is really frustrating.
And it does say on his Twitch profile, loves sports games. So everybody go follow SeanQuinnSports on twitch.tv.
So he can stream FIFA.
It's funny because I think most of Nick's audience is not into that kind of thing.
Absolutely, yeah. People watching like a Nintendo channel.
Absolutely.
But you know what? It is something different. So
It is very different.
There's Nintendo Sport.
Yep.
Wii Sports, dude. Fight me in bowling, dude.
Dude,
Mario Tennis.
You guys.
oh my god. We played that, and I remember having a fight with one of our other guest gameplay when we were like, it's one of our favorite recordings. Just briefly saying, we recorded a Super Mario Tennis on the GameCube, and one of our friends, we name him, we call him Ebo.
Or Ebu.
He and I basically had such an intense match. It lasted for like 20 minutes, and Sean and Carl were just like sitting there doing nothing. It's like, are we gonna play at all? It was
I'll give
stupid.
Nintendo credit. They can make some like I think the Wii sports games, they're fun, man. They can get really fun.
I remember us recording with the Wii Sports, and that was just, well, something.
Yeah, it was. But also, yes, Doodah Gaming. I do agree. Amazy Daisy are really annoying in this game.
Kill them with fire.
I've been killing them with fire, but I'm on a time limit, James. If you haven't noticed in the top.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Go ahead, Carl.
Alright.
Oh,
So,
Carl, don't kill
now
people.
these guys are turds.
They're throwing turds.
Go
Are you
ahead,
holding that pose?
so for my next game, that I played this year, that also released this year as well, is Fall Guys. Now,
Yes.
this game, I think I first heard from Nick. Believe it or not, I kind of dozed off from E3.
Hmm.
That was like 2019 E3, right?
Probably.
We all dozed off from
I
E3.
did not actually. Just to quickly interrupt, I did not even know about Fall Guys until it started. Like I saw it on, and then people were starting talking about it over the internet.
Right.
So
And
even I was
remember-
late on that.
Yeah, I remember Nick pretty much just telling me about it, and also that Sean wants to play. I'm like, Fall Guys? What the heck is Fall Guys? And then Nick literally just said, it's like those the Mario Party mini games, except that's the whole game. And it's like, wait, what?
It's a mosh pit game, yeah.
Pretty much.
It's a
And-
anti-COVID thing.
Yes. So, pretty much, I had my fun with it. However, like, the reason why it's not higher up on my list is for several reasons. The first of which being, it kind of plateaued for me in terms of its replayability. It's like, sure, they introduce new maps and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, it's like, unless you, unless you have like maybe certain rule, like custom rules that you set, like maybe such as, maybe do like a tournament style of Fall Guys or whatever, which by the way people have done. Like there's nothing really, there's not much else to it, from what I can tell. At least that's for me, and what else is there? Oh yeah. Actually, you know what? No, that's pretty much like the main points, like as to why it's not as high up on the list. But that's not to say it's a bad game. No, it was a fun game, and there was definitely like a lot of funny moments, especially the disconnects.
Mm-hmm.
Many times I got disconnected from that one freaking map.
Mm-hmm.
What was that one? What was that one again? It was from season 2, I remember. But
Oh yeah, that the log thingy.
yeah, it has the spike log and stuff like that. Yeah,
I will say, I mean, I haven't played season 3 yet, but
it's season 3.
there's season 3. It's been still going on. But according to our resident Smash expert, Justin, who is very great, guys, like he is such a great,
Friend of the show.
yeah, friend of the show.
One-time guest.
Yeah, you should follow him on Twitter.
Paragon Greninja.
He says season 3 is actually much better and more fun than season 2. So that's definitely one of the things, is that I feel like with Fall Guys, you should give that a try, and then we'll see how that goes for you.
I will say though, like if there's one thing that in my opinion, that would make the game a lot better, private lobbies. Like have the game so that you don't just play with random strangers. Like give the opportunity, give some options for people that that just want to play with friends.
That could work, yeah.
Alright, your turn.
Okay, so also, dude.
Okay, hey, real quick about Fall Guys, I'm just gonna say
Dang
it. I can't stand the game and the fact that if you don't, it's sort of like Pokemon Go, where if you stop playing it for a while, good luck keeping up.
I mean, I would say for Fall Guys, you just have to get used to it, because every season's different and everyone's new at it. So it's just one of those things you just have to pick up and go back into it a little bit. But yeah, dude, I agree. Pit is very hard. I remember going the 1,000-Year Door one before, and it was, I died on that early. This one is like, I'm more prepared because I beat the game already. So that's one of the reasons why I'm doing this. Also, yes, Among Us did come out in 2018, so that is yeah.
It's a 2020 game.
Oh wait a minute.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just gonna put it out right now. I know we're gonna get to you, Nick. I'm sorry, but Among Us is in my honorable mentions, but it's a 2020 game as far as my concern. I know it came out 2018, but who was playing it last year? I dare you to say.
Last year, 2 years ago.
Yeah, like Exactly. This game became popular in 2020. It
Oh,
was
wait,
like
I have-
Nirvana's Nevermind album. Like it was useless. Nobody.
What
knew
a comparison.
No, but
I think you're thinking of Bleach. People cared about Nevermind when it came out, but the first album, Bleach, like nobody knew the songs from that Nirvana album until years later.
There was the one. It was that or the Pearl Jam album where it like came out, nobody cared about it, and the next year was like, holy crap! That's what Among Us was.
Yep. And still,
Sorry.
Among Us is one of those things that I remember seeing what like on sales. Like, hey, I want to get like 8 people together as friends. Like about literally, no joke, about 2 weeks before it got popular. And it was just like, I can't find people. And then suddenly it got super popular, and it's like, well, I guess I missed the opportunity to play it before it got super popular and oversaturated with people playing it. But anyway, hey Luigi Fire, Blazer is 1/3 through the trial. He is filled with determination. Thank you so much. The pit is going pretty fast for me, faster than I expected. And I'm sorry I didn't mention it. We're doing a podcast right now, so I'm only rereading chat and answering questions when we're doing in between talks. Just FYI. But other than that, here is my list. I need to bring it up really quickly. My next one that I played in 2020 on this list is Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. So I haven't beaten it in the entirety, but I've basically played a good chunk of it to a point where I know a lot about the game. Like the basic combat, the basic everything. And I honestly thought that, good to know, go RetroBound. I only got it because it was like, oh, I like Breath of the Wild. I thought they advertised it as this will explain and showcase more of the champions and answer some questions. It's like, okay, this is cool. And then when I heard of that, it's like it kind of forgoes a lot of things that was built in Breath of the Wild, which honestly very disappoints me because how they advertised it. And the fact that I'm not the biggest, and this is just me. This is not because I hate the game. This is like I don't like the combat as much as I would like. It's pretty simplistic to me. I don't think it's that challenging in a lot of cases. And the whole story is slightly weird to me. And I think they officially announced that it's non-canon, which also very upsets me. So overall, I think the overall marketing and story aspect being like that is what made me feel, and also gameplay made me feel like it's not really worth the $60. But I will not say it's not fun. It's just one of those, I had higher expectations for it. So if you like Hyrule Warriors, I think it's fine. If you like the characters and just care about seeing interactions of the characters, I think it's a fun game. If you expect a story that ties up a lot of knots, this is not a game for you. And I recommend getting it at like more of a cheaper price than anything, but that's just me. So yeah, also the game isn't exactly well polished in some areas because it kind of chugs here and there, and certain aspects are just graphically not as great. I don't know, that might be just me. But yeah, I definitely think that's why Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity is low on my list. Alright, Kyle, you're up.
Okay, next game for me is this is the trilogy of games that Carl thought he knew what it was, but actually totally wasn't that, so I fooled him. So the next game on my list is a ongoing series of visual novel games. The series is called The Sacrifices. And I actually got into this series and I've streamed all of the games in the series to date. Because I got into the first game in the series through the itch.io bundle for racial justice and equality that came out back in June. The first game in this series, which was included in the itch bundle, is called The Night Fisherman. And the sequels, the second one is called The Outcast Lovers, and the third one which is the most recent, is called The Change Architect. And basically, it's a loosely connected series of visual novels set in kind of a near-future dystopian Britain, in which immigrants are completely banned from entering the country. And it basically explores like themes of like racism and xenophobia, and like I guess you could say sort of hinted at being like fascist or at least anti-immigrant authoritarian governments.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of has a topical.
I'm liking
topical
these
tone to
games
it.
you've got on your list.
Yeah,
Sounds super political. I like it.
I mean, this game in particular came out through the bundle for racial justice and equality, so you can expect some more politically oriented games in that bundle. But basically, they're very short visual novels, and perhaps that's a weakness to it, is how short the games are. But they are all available for free on itch.io. So,
And what is HIO?
Itch.io.
Itch.io, which is basically it's I guess a more indie version of Steam. It's basically just a website where creators publish their like video games or like zines or like other just digital works.
Mystery.
It's like itch.io is to Steam what Bandcamp is to iTunes. It's like a more decentralized and
I like that. I like that.
So just to quickly mention, itch.io is also a place where a lot of game developers and as well as other people do a lot of dang it, I forgot the term. It's like Carl, what's the other term that's hackathon but for games?
Oh,
Game Jam?
Game Jam, yes, that's it. I temporarily forgot about it. It's a place where they do a lot of game jams, and a lot of developers do the that, and the itch.io is great for all that stuff, and the specific bundle that we're talking about was out during the whole culture shift thing. And a lot of developers put it
I can
together.
explain the bundle very quickly because I think that's worth a shout out for this year.
But very quickly before you do that, hey Matt Star, how you doing? Quickly mentioning, I am doing a podcast, so I am reading chat as I go, as we talk during breaks. So what we're talking about is 2020 release games that each of us have played. So if you want to hang out and check it out, we're doing it as I play the Pit of 100 Trials. But hey, welcome. Also, Bunker and Good Game is Sage Sonic Adventure. Yep, there we go.
This is the low-key Game of the Year ceremony for RetroBound Podcast.
Yep, and also there's a shout out for him. He's a good streamer. Go follow him.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah. So on the subject of 2020, I guess just gaming in general, real quick shout out to the itch.io bundle for racial justice and equality. It came out in June of this year. It's no longer available. It was a temporary thing, but it was a huge bundle of games, like basically over 1,000 contributions of video games and other software, like soundtracks and like tabletop games, that was compiled on that site in the wake of the George Floyd police protests.
Yep.
And basically it was a bundle that was put together on the site to raise money for community bail funds and legal costs, and it ended up raising over $6 million for those causes within 2 weeks, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And to get back to the game I was talking about, so the Night Fisherman was included in this bundle, and it's the first game in the Sacrifices series. And basically each of these games in the Sacrifices series are a visual novel about, as I said earlier, like anti-immigration, like essentially like fascist tendencies in modern governments. But basically each of them places you in sort of like a simulated dialogue in which you make a sort of moral choice. Like the first game is the Night Fisherman. You're in control of basically a fisherman who is confronted by immigration authorities while he's out fishing on his boat. The second game is about a gay couple who's sheltering a refugee they found washed up on a shore. And the third game in the series has you coordinating a political protest from afar. So they kind of put you into situations that you wouldn't normally get out of most video games, and I think it's really interesting in the way that it even just presents these topics to begin with, but also like just the the moral choice and the choices that you have to make, and like the I guess the severity you feel in that moment of like the choices you have to make. So the games are very short, but they feel very engaging and very real. And as I said, those are all available for free if you just search like The Night Fisherman, and from there you can check out that game for free, and the rest of the games are available for free on itch.
Yep.
And yeah, they're planning. They've started the series planning to release one new game a month, but I think they've been taking a month off for December for holiday reasons. But each time they release a new game in the series, I've been notified about them by email, so I can plug any future games they put out.
Yep. Yep, that's the itch.io.
Right.
I remember
Sean.
telling at least Kyle and James about it, and they both have it, so it's a big bundle worth. All right, Sean, you're up.
Yeah, while you were telling me about itch.io, I'd never even heard of it, so I just created an account while Kyle was talking.
I first heard of it through this bundle because Nick plugged the bundle back in June. So.
Yeah, no, itch.io
cool,
is a great place to look for like random indie games and to support them, because it's a great place for them.
Yeah,
Well,
Kyle's
thank you,
a
Kyle.
spokesperson
That's
for
very
itch.io.
helpful for me.
What'd you say, James?
I said Kyle's a spokesperson for itch.io.
Yeah, no, Kyle's a spokesperson
I
on.
don't even make games, dude. If everybody can follow
should get paid for it.
PhantoYoshiVR to itch.io, because he has an actual page on there.
I actually
I just
do,
did.
but I don't have a game on there. But definitely, like, Kyle is our spokesperson for a lot of indie games, because that's what he usually plays. I play a lot of bigger
I stream
games.
them, yeah. That's just kind of what my Twitch channel has become. It's not originally what I intended for it to be, but yeah.
Yeah, if you're feeling a little political, I like it. Kyle's like
I got a book about anarchy for
the
Christmas.
liberal gamer. I appreciate this. And I'm not saying that as a conservative, because I'm not a conservative. I'm very
Right.
openly liberal, but that's very funny. You appreciate these games that are speaking for social justice and diversity and equity and inclusion. So
Mm-hmm.
My sister's boyfriend got me a book about anarchy for Christmas.
That's pretty amazing.
is your sister a part of the Black Bloc?
No, but
Wow.
she's a teacher.
Shroops.
And she also was a social studies too, I think.
Sounds like she needs to make an itch.io.
Yeah, dude. I should tell my mom to make an itch.io. I back when I was still at Western, like I was just like going through some books or whatever on like a bookshelf in my house, and my mom for some reason still has a copy of the Communist Manifesto that she had when she was in college. I'm like, Mom, I didn't know you had a phase like that, but I took that copy of Marx and kept it for myself, actually.
I feel like
Anyway.
you don't even need to be a fan of communism to read that. That's such it's an important book of history, really.
Right.
All right. Anyway, to me, wow, that was a very entertaining conversation. I'm gonna echo Carl here. I too got Fall Guys thanks to Nick really came up big with the indie games this year for us.
Okay,
that was
just
an
quickly
indie
to
game.
say that I follow gaming news almost religiously, so I get to see a lot of what games are popular and what games deserve recognition. Okay.
I will say that I feel like Nick, and not to add flexing to you a little bit, but I have found that you actually have gotten us on games that became popular like a couple weeks after we started playing personally.
Mhm.
Like Phasmophobia, I think was not that big back in October and September when we started playing it, and now everybody and their mother, like Markiplier, PewDiePie, Jacksepticeye, they're all playing it now. So credit to Nick on that. Anyway, sorry. To Fall Guys, in addition to Carl, I think I picked up Fall Guys around the same time Carl did. Great multiplayer game that we've also bonded over. Although I must say that I put it a little bit lower on my list. I started with my favorites because I've gotten to become less and less a fan of it. Just as it went the way of Pokemon Go, where when you play it religiously in the beginning, and even if you're not very good at it, you can still enjoy it. You can make it toward the top. But I found now that so many good players are playing it still, and the bad players have sort of moved on to the point where, let's say you get through one round, you're running into so many people that intentionally will try to kick you off, or there's just no way in hell you have come anywhere close to getting star, or whatever the term is. I don't remember what this. It's been so long. But either way, the crown. I just found that as more time goes on, you're less and less likely to win a crown, and that kind of ruins it for me a little bit. Because while it is fun to play with friends, it's not that much fun if you can't accomplish anything with it. So, but it's still back when I originally played it, I had lots of good times with it. Now, not so much.
Yep. Also, quickly reading the chat. For me, Game Jolt, after many years of possibly the very first FNAF fan game ever, FNATI 2020, I feel like a hand to form my very well and cracked up or not. Yeah, Game Jolt is also another place, but it's not as popular as itch.io. Also, yes, I'm drinking soda, Mountain Dew again. There it is.
Ooh,
Green screen Mountain Dew, guys. Sponsor me, Mountain Dew.
You're drinking? Uh-oh. Do it.
Someone mentioned Among Us earlier. There's a game that's if people who like kind of the feel of Among Us, except there was a game called
Project Winter.
Wait, what is funny?
Sorry. James, you have to look at extra Twitch.
Give me 1 second.
What happened?
Nick's like, I've got Mountain Dew. Oh, really? Yeah, there you go, Nick.
Wait, is someone Mountain Dew emotes or something?
Great.
He's hydrating.
3 hydrates.
Oh.
I dueled water and Mountain Dew. Does not taste great.
Oh.
I would just like to let it be known that RetroBound Podcast is not in any way sponsored by or endorsed by Mountain Dew or its products.
Everyone has
RetroBound continues to mean commercial independence. We are not sponsored or paid in any way for our content. And yeah, back to your regularly scheduled programming.
Okay. I'll keep going, James. Quickly say it before I have to go on.
Oh, there's a game called Unfortunate Spacemen. It's basically kind of has that kind of classic mafia sort of premise, and there's also the imposter, but instead, you can't just kill 2 people out of the whole group, and it's oh, the game ended. You actually have to have the entire collective work together to take down a monster in much more like a traditional shooter, but also not, because you still have to use deception and stuff. So,
Alright.
Came out in June.
Alright.
Quickly before you go, Carl. Yes, Project Winter is also a game I want to play, Matt. I haven't gotten anybody to play with me, so I've never gotten it, but I've heard that it's basically from some people. And also, just to quickly say, for Carl, Sean, and anybody who was fan Among Us, I've heard that Project Winter was one of the games that is a better version of Among Us. I haven't played it personally. I haven't seen much gameplay of it, but I heard it's a better version of Among Us. So if that's the case,
what was it?
you can try it. Project Winter is what it's called. The reason also I haven't recommended it like the other games, it's kind of expensive, $15 normally.
Mm-hmm.
And how about a little misfortune? I don't know what you mean, Luigi. Do you mean my luck being a little misfortune? The ski games popped up in 2020. Unfortunate Spaceman. Yep. Yeah, there's a lot of games that have been popping up this 2020. Also, Carl, you're up now.
Alright, after that delayed side note. Anyways.
Sorry, Carl.
Okay. Actually, so I'm actually gonna take a page off of Sean's book here. My next game is actually Phasmophobia.
Hey,
Yeah!
Stop ripping off pages from books, Carl. I thought you were supposed to be a good boy.
Let's just say that I stay up at long nights with studying up astronomy, and I love to tear up pages because it's no, this is wrong. I need to do anyways. So,
Humble brag.
Phasmophobia is actually a game that I never thought I would actually play. Pretty much, Nick just told me one day, "Hey, Sean wants to play this game called Phasmophobia. You want in?" I'm like, and then, like an idiot, I said, "Yeah, sure, why not?" So, yep, and that's how I was pretty much just dragged into it, and ever since then, it's actually been quite a lot of fun. So, unlike Fall Guys, I would say, seems to be a lot more to this than there seems to be a lot more fun content. I would say. So, what I mean by fun content from my perspective, what I mean specifically is there's a lot more funnier moments that could happen, purely because not only not only is it like the party's smaller, like compared to say Fall Guys is like 60, like up to 60 people in a room.
Yep, about there.
Yes, it's 60.
60. Here, it's only up to 4, and not only that, the game is a slow burner. So, because you have to essentially grind to level up and get access to more difficult areas, and actually do like that because that keeps the game fresh every single time you play it, and especially if you start adding in like newer players in, it becomes hilarious. Actually, if you want to see some context for that, go ahead and watch Grace's perspective and my perspective on Phasmophobia was on our streams last night.
Yep.
On that, because it is hilarious.
Yep.
It's only fun in games and hilarious until you put me in a prison.
Yeah.
Yes. But that's
Sean ran away like a little
baby.
Hey now.
baby, because there was a revenant.
It was only.
But here's the thing.
And it hunted. The first time it hunted, he ran all the way to the other side of the prison and hid there and would not leave that corner.
Yeah, he was just like, no, you guys come and get me.
Insane.
Hi, Sidon.
Also, hi. How you doing? I'm still working on that list, Sai. So I'm gonna try to get it to you by tonight. By the way,
I want to
also,
quickly point out that I will not be satisfied with Phasmophobia, Carl, until Kyle joins us in one of the games.
I mean, I'm down for it. It's just most of the time that you guys were playing that game is when I was still working regularly, and so the times didn't line up. But I guess now that you guys play it, and now that Grace has been playing it too, I'm probably gonna get sucked in at some point. So I'd be willing to try it out.
I think it's on
like
sale right now, so you can get it easily.
Oh sure, I didn't even think about adding that to my wish list or anything, but I'll look into that.
Yeah, no worries, Sai. Also,
Sean yells at me a lot for doing stuff like that.
Yeah, no, I do it too. Also, yes, Little Misfortune. I looked at it. It actually looks very interesting, Luigi. I'll take a look at it more with Kyle because I think he also would like it. Yeah.
Nick, when you say it's on sale, yeah, it's like $1 off. It's like literally 10% sale.
I mean, it's
silly,
cheaper. Okay, it's cheaper right now.
I know, that's kind of silly that I've never seen a game on sale for 10% cheaper.
Oh yeah, Matt.
Steam.
You and I should also play because I know you have Phasma. We should totally like add each other and also play together because I'm down to playing it.
Like, do a collab?
We could do a collab or whatnot, but yeah, Phasma has been one of those interesting moments. Like, I think like the exact conversation, Carl, was like, I was trying to convince Sean and you were like, Sean was like, no, I don't play horror games. But I was like, but it's co-op, so you don't have to do it by yourself. It's like, and Sean was like, eh. And then you were like, oh, it's like, oh god, it's horror. It's like, yes, it's horror. It's like, why? And it's just like,
I'm bored.
yeah, let's just do it. It's like, we'll do it together. I hate scary games.
I think part of what helps Phasmophobia make it so popular is while content-wise it's a very bare bones game. I think the fact that it can be rather accessible to players who don't necessarily have like what you'd think of as like conventional gaming skills like platforming, shooting. So even if you aren't like big into like platforming, shooting or otherwise games that require like complex movement, you can still feel like a valuable part of the team.
Yeah,
it's like a game you could drag a family member into or something for laughs.
Yeah, and one thing is like I mentioned this before, and I also agree with people, is that playing co-op really in horror games, it doesn't make it as scary as you would think. It actually makes it more entertaining.
You are fake news. That is bullcrap.
Alright,
especially when you're playing with me, Nick, and Carl, or you, me, James, and Carl, and you make that stupid noise, and then you close the door on me.
I was just gonna say, just to like wrap up my points, that yes, it is like pretty much just going off of what Dave said. Yes, it is kind of a bare bones experience, but there seems to be a lot more memorable experiences with it because, there's just so many like missed opportunities that can happen, and a lot of the times it's just hilarious.
Yep.
But yeah.
Also, just to quickly read, Phasmophobia, I do know it's like made by one person, and all of us know. Enjoy horror games. I just need to get the game, which might take some time, which is fine, Luigi. but if you get it, we can all totally play. But I mean, it's understandable. Phasma is still scary to some people, so it's understandable. But you need to get out, yeah. Also, quick in mind, site, we are doing a bit of a podcast right now, so it's a little. I take it. I'm playing Pitiful 100 Trials while we're listing the games that we've played that were released in 2020 since the end of the year. So if you don't hear me answer a question or respond to any conversation, it's because I'm trying to be nice and let everyone finish their thoughts before I even read off the chat. So I'm doing it while, like, I read off chats while we are in, like, kind of like a switching between people talking.
Basically avoid just what happened.
Yep.
Because I was trying to collect my thoughts, but then everyone just keeps jumping in.
I think what happened is that we like to monologue after your point.
Yeah, no.
Good analysis.
Yeah, so.
But I'll try to look at me. I'll try to be a
Okay,
little
thanks,
bit-
Sai.
I was like, okay, I'm just gonna sit down.
Oh my god! Amazing Daisy! Ah!
What was Carl trying to say?
He
No,
doesn't want to
mean-
monologue too long.
Yeah, because I already said my point. What's going on?
Maisie Daisy.
You're
Well, I
getting
mean,
just shoved around.
Yeah. All right. Okay, your turn, Nick.
Yep. Okay. So my next thing is on my list is actually it's gonna be another repeat. It is Paper Mario: The Origami King. So I played a little bit of this game. Because Zelda wasn't. I played this game and I actually enjoyed it a bit. I'm definitely not as enjoyed it as much as, like, I played Paper Mario Original on N64. I've played Thousand Year Door at 3 times at this point, and I play 4 times technically because of Book of Mario. And then I played all of Super Paper Mario, pretty much. I've seen all that it has to offer, and I'm playing Color Splash right now. Not Sticker Stars. The only one I've never played, but Origami King I enjoyed. I'm not the biggest fan of the combat system because it's kind of weird. But the music is great. And the reward system is like you get a lot of money, so I think it's all right. It's definitely better than Color Splash because I mentioned this while I was like playing Color Splash with Carl. The Color Splash combat and the whole thing is not as rewarding as you would say with Origami King. So I kind of feel that is Origami King has a lot more to offer. It's beautiful. It's great, and I'm having fun with it. I haven't beat it all, but one thing I really wish they brought back is the designs of characters, like the original concept designs and a little bit more unique environments like they did in Thousand Year Door, like Rogue Pork and all that stuff. But I still have to see what more it has to offer. I'm planning to finish the game in my own time. Not gonna play it on stream unless it's fully requested by it, but as of right now, it's just gonna be one of those, like, I'll play on my own and I'm enjoying it for what it is, as long as I ignore it being like trying to compare it to like the Thousand Year Door or whatnot. Yeah, the Wii U version is something I'm still planning to play. Color Splash is something that I will be playing more also on my own with Carl, because Carl and I want to build a more opinion with Color Splash. And so far, we are saying it's all right. It's not the best, obviously, but it's definitely better than Sticker Star. And we know Sticker Star a little bit. Power Stretch. But yeah. All right, let's go, Kyle.
Oh, cool. We'll go from my grunting about Sticker Star into my next game. Okay, so my next game is another game that I've streamed on my channel, actually. It's a game called Left on Red that came out this year, and basically this game is it's a free-to-play game on Steam that Emoto, friend of the show, one-time podcast guest, she plugged it on Discord because she saw that it was a digits game and thought that would be a funny thing for me to play. And basically it's an indie game that simulates text message conversations between a college student and his crush during the COVID-19 quarantine. So it's like a topical game that came out this year that's based on current events. It came out in May, so it was like during the initial lockdowns in the US is when this game was developed and released. And so it kind of lacks kind of the later developments in the pandemic. But basically, you're playing as like a college student who he has a crush on this girl, and he's got her digits, and he really likes her. But then before they can become too close, COVID-19 hits, and school gets shut down, and they got to go back to their families' homes, several state borders away. And so this whole game is the text message conversations between the two of them, where you basically like the way you're controlling the game is you're just moving a little block around, and you like jump across the chains of text messages that you want to follow. So sometimes you have a choice as to what you want to say to the girl, and you just jump onto the message that you want to send to her. And you know, it goes from like one chapter to the next. It's like there's a lot of pressure, a lot of mystery, because sometimes your conversations are days apart, and you're wondering what's happened to her, or you're wondering, what's it going to be like between the two of us. Sometimes there's one chapter where you talk to a bro friend of yours, and you're like, I'm talking to this girl. Oh my god, she's so amazing. What do I say to her, bro? And you get advice from your dude friend. And yeah, so it's kind of an interesting, fun game. I played it on my channel as like a kind of a fun little thing where we had to vote on what we were going to say to the girl, and we like voted on like every decision that we made in the game. I do take some issue with how the game ends, and I'm not going to spoil it for people who haven't played the game, but I think all of us agreed when we finished the game that we felt the game got a bit too optimistic in the way that it ends. But then we looked at the game's release date afterward and realized that it came out like during springtime, when people had like actual optimism for how the pandemic would turn out, and obviously that's not been the case. And I actually do plan on revisiting the game soon on my stream, because there's a couple more achievements and outcomes that I want to look into on stream. And I also want to test out another feature that you unlock in the game after beating the main campaign, which is the realistic mode, which seems to just be a meme, where instead of the game like playing out like in a really straightforward fashion, instead it's like the actual game's chapters, but you sent a message to the girl and you have to wait like actual hours in real time for a response to come. And so it's quote-unquote realistic mode, because you're being left on red by this girl for hours at a time until she replies to you. And that seems like kind of a funny thing to experiment with.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's left on red.
The voice... I'm sorry, but the voice crack was funny, says Sai.
Did my voice crack at one point?
I think so, a little bit.
Okay, that's because I need to drink water. I've been talking too much without hydrating.
Wait, water, you think?
No, Carl.
I'm gonna redeem some hydrate.
No,
I got
Carl.
a water bottle right here.
No, Carl. God dang it, Carl.
Water?
What did you say, Nick?
Are you thirsty?
What he said when he said hours, it's voice crack.
Yeah! Carl starting a movement. Oh my god, juice! Sorry, not juice. Oh my god. Great.
I wish we could have Grace jump in on this, but I think she's busy right now.
She's busy probably playing Halo. Also, if you want to see some shout outs, we got 200 short, sadly. Yeah, this is why I put it high, because there's so much hydrate.
You'll get there, dude. As soon as you get enough points, if that happens during the stream, feel free to redeem hydrate, and the rest of us will join in as soon as you do. Yeah, so quickly some shout outs. Grace is currently streaming. She's playing Halo right now. She's a good friend of ours. There's also Digitsbby, which is Kyle right now. He's been streaming a lot of indie games, so follow him. These are the links, shout outs for these guys. So I recommend it. And also, obviously, we need Carl in here. Cause he streamed a lot last night, and he's gonna be streaming again tomorrow. Whoopsie. Yeah, so go check them all out. They're all great. I just put them all the links, so give them all a follow. It's great. We may need to raise the price again. I may consider putting it up to 1,000 because of all you guys. At this point, my hydrates are becoming a meme. And I still blame, because like the reason why I put hydrates is because Grace put it on there. So I blame her for all this, my suffering.
I think it's because you're thirsty.
No, I'm not.
Alright, Sean, go on.
Alright, friends. I've got two more on my list. This next one is a game that I don't think will be on any of y'all's lists, because I'm probably, again, the only one that plays this kind of stuff. But 14 years ago, a little beautiful game called Microsoft Flight Simulator came out. Again, it came out on PC and a bunch of other consoles, I think the Microsoft consoles, and eventually made its way to Steam. And then it just played and sat, and a lot of people have been playing it for years and years, until finally in the last 2 years, it just seemed like the old developers are not going to update it anymore, and the game sort of phased out. It's a great game if you want to be a pilot or if you don't want to be a pilot. If you just enjoy flying in the skies for fun, if you like crashing your planes into things, or if you actually find the thrill of flying planes really, really thrilling or exciting, I suppose. Then Asobo Studios came out along with Microsoft and basically just said, hey, we're making a new flight simulator. And we're like, okay. And then it was revealed just how much effort was going into this flight simulator game, the new one. I won't get into the whole thing. I think Nick can certainly speak to the stats of the game, or maybe Carl, whoever knows more about it than I.
Which one?
But the game is like the new flight simulator.
Yep.
The game is one of the biggest, obviously storage-taking games, and requires some of the highest end graphics, because the game is legit. The amount of work and effort that's been put into making this latest flight simulator version realistic is unbelievable. And as someone that dreams of ever learning to fly without ever having to pay tens of thousands of dollars to do so, this is a great way to really just enjoy the thrill of being behind the controls of a plane and exploring the world without having to spend thousands upon thousands of dollars to learn how to fly. So it's a game I love. I have not played it enough. I really need to play it more. It does take up a lot of time to do, but it's honestly, in my opinion, I believe it is the best simulator based game out there today. So yeah.
All right.
That game is too big. It's 250 gigabytes,
Also,
I think.
Actually, before I get started on mine, isn't that also the reason why you got a 3500 Alienware laptop?
Yes.
That is primarily the reason why I spent $3,500, is so that I could play Flight Simulator. Yes.
Yep.
How's the sound levels?
The game actually does run okay on this, but I have found, believe it or not, despite as much money as I put into this game, the frame rate is not where I want it to be, and I have found that I have to play on the medium to lower end graphics, unfortunately, just because the game is such a tank.
Well,
So.
just make it sound a little bit less bad. Even the 3000 series struggle with Microsoft Flight Simulator.
That's really good to hear.
Yeah.
On the related note of Microsoft Flight Simulator, I am considering getting it actually, but only for Series X, because they're coming with it, and they're just like, why not? Give more reason to use the Series X, and I figured at least it can the Series X should be able to handle it better than my desktop. Plus, I don't want to give out 150 gigabytes just for that game.
Hey, it might be optimized for Series X.
Yep, sure, that too.
I have found that you can enjoy that game without necessarily being techie into the pilot stuff. I think it is a really good game.
I'll enjoy it a little bit, definitely. But anyway, Carl, you're up.
So, okay, this next game, I don't know if it counts, because as John alluded to earlier, this is his honorable mention. Among Us. I actually forgot that it came out in 2018.
Wow, Carl.
Yeah,
I told you, we looked at this before.
I know, but here's the thing. The reason why I put it on this list and not as part of the honorable mention again, without it, I would literally only have 5 games to list. So,
I have 5 games to list.
well, I wanted more anyways. Anyway. So, okay. Regardless, though, why did I put Among Us on here? Well, first of all, it came out, not came out, rather, it got popular at the right time, and...
Nirvana's Bleach.
But,
I love that comparison.
Go ahead, Carl. Sorry.
let's just say that just like Phasmophobia before, there's a lot of shenanigan moments that can happen, and essentially in of itself, it is kind of like a horror game, like when you're the crewmates, because you have to be careful not to get killed by the imposter and stuff like that, and you have to pretty much just fight for your life. That or at least argue that you yourself are not the imposter. And I just find this, like, the concept of pretty much, I think, with the psychological manipulation in games to be fascinating, especially as in the form of multiplayer. Like, it's pretty cool, and not just as a single player thing. Well, I mean, like, okay, there's some I've seen like psychological manipulation tricks in single player games, but not as much as in multiplayer games. So that's why Among Us is on this list as well. And also sus.
Sus.
So Carl's sus for putting a 2018 game as released in 2020.
Actually, speaking about sus, I did finish my drawing of.
Look at the chat, Nick.
Oh my.
Wait, what?
I just sussed Carl, and he says he's 100% sus.
Yeah. Carl, you're too sus.
This is the first time I've ever seen 100%.
Carl's too sus, guys. Get him out of here.
Is it because wait?
I'm 12. Ah.
Oh my god. Is it because I drew Selby with a sus face?
Probably.
No, I think it's because you listed Among Us as a 2020 game.
Ban Celebi.
Yeah. 67%.
I've got my eye on you. Not that sus.
Alright, there we go.
Alright, Nick.
Okay, so as we're going through it, my next one is... Okay, so I have to explain this briefly. This is an early access game. So while this was released back in 2016, this game did not officially get out until 2020. I think around in May or March, one of those two. And it is a game called Golf with Your Friends. And I actually played all the levels. I know that Kyle also has it, but he is way too salty about that game the first time we played. And so he never wanted to play it, but I remember always dragging James in. And we always have some fun playing the new maps that come out every once in a while. I think it's actually a pretty fun game. And I think it's like a pretty fun game playing with your friends, especially when people get really salty. Everyone's being sus in my chat now. But I honestly do think the Golf with Your Friends is a great game to play with, like, again, with your friends. You guys can make custom like rules, say whether you can bounce, play basketball, play even custom maps. So this game has like a lot of support in the modding community that I think it's pretty well. It's one of those, like, it definitely has like a good following. And I think it can be just like enjoyed by a lot. The only thing I have some bitches. Okay. Welcome back, Duda. The only thing I guess basic complaint about it is that there are a few odd out of bound glitches that can cause your ball to go out of bounds, and it may feel like the physics are kind of here and there off, but overall, I think the game is still an enjoyable one, even if it's like simplistic and stupid. I think it still can have a lot of fun. All right, Kyle, you're up.
Okay, so I'm actually out of 2020 games on my list. I've already. Oh wait, no. What am I talking about? I'm not out of games. I saved the favorite game for last. Sorry, I was just bluffing.
Yeah.
How far is everybody else in the list, by the way?
I have one more, and then eventually I'm guessing we'll go into our 2021 games we're looking forward to.
Yeah, Carl.
Okay, well,
how many?
If I have one more 2020 game, and then
Carl, how many do you have?
I have 3.
I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Good lord!
Good lord, dude.
Nick!
Nick is too much of a gamer, guys. He has gamer in his username on Twitch. It's crazy.
Find other things to do.
I played a lot of games, okay? And a lot of those games are kind of what we played.
This is a good segue. So Nick has these games on his list because he has played a lot of games. I have this game on my list because it's a game I have played a lot, which is my 2020 game of the year by far. It's Animal Crossing New Horizons, BB, for Nintendo Switch. So I love Animal Crossing. It's great. I got into the series back in Well, actually, I got into Animal Crossing back in like 2007 or 8, I think, by borrowing a friend's copy of Wild World on DS. And then from there, I've played at least a fair amount of every Animal Crossing game since. But I think that New Horizons is definitely as polished as the series has been thus far, which actually surprised me, because it's like, as hype as I was to know that a new game is coming out for Switch, I kind of been thinking to myself that, like, New Leaf on the 3DS had, like, perfected the formula as much as I thought it could be at the time. But New Horizons adds all these new mechanics, like DIYs, so you like make your tools in your furniture instead of just being able to buy everything. You can like basically customize everything about your island, like with terraforming. You can like make your island into whatever you want it to be. And what I think some of the things that have made New Horizons such a highlight of the year for me are, one, it came out during the pandemic, and so it was a game for like everyone to play when there was like not much else to do throughout much of the year. And another thing is that it's the first Animal Crossing game that's come out that a lot of my friends have gotten into at the same time. I had played City Folk on the Wii with a friend a little bit back when I was into that game, but like at the time I got New Leaf, I played it a little bit late, and so nobody I knew was playing that game at the time, and I pretty much just like put a ton of hours into that game just playing it on my own. But New Horizons I've devoted a lot of time to, both playing the game by myself, doing things like paying off my mortgage, collecting furniture, catching all the fish and bugs, that kind of thing. But I've also spent a lot of time playing the game on multiplayer, and with several friends, and like there have been times where I kind of get in and out of the game, depending on if there's like much going on, but I still revisit the game a lot for holidays or for like new fish and bugs coming out every month. And one recent development is that I just recently bought a capture card, and now me and official_grace, shout out, we look forward to playing that game a lot on my streams, because I'm able to stream the game, and like we kicked off my capture card streams by celebrating Christmas in Animal Crossing, and we also plan on celebrating the New Year's countdown in a couple days. So one thing that I think will get me a lot of fun playtime going forward in New Horizons is that I can stream the game now, and so I can show off any like events or updates that are happening. So I love New Horizons. It's my most played game on Switch. It's probably coming up on like one of my most played games ever in terms of hours, because it's, you know, it's a comfortable game to play when you just need something super chill. You can play it alone with friends. There's a lot of stuff to do. If you keep like giving yourself reasons to keep playing, like you want to like get all like the Nook Miles points or badges, like there's always something I've been able to find to do in the game, and that's what's kept me going playing the game like 9 months later. Yeah, my Digitsbby game of the year is Animal Crossing New Horizons, hands down.
Nice.
Kyle, tell me how this game has made you feel about landlords this year.
Well, I think you saw my my Jackbox answer that one time, so
yeah,
that answers anything for you.
the year of the renter, the eviction moratorium, and the landlord. Really, really great timing with the pandemic to release a game where you have to deal with an asshole for a landlord.
Right.
A greedy raccoon. Alright, my final game for games I enjoyed the most in 2020, or released in 2020, is actually a preview to, if we have time, which I doubt, but if we do have time to address like one or two games that we are looking forward to coming out next year. The Back 4 Blood closed alpha. This was a game that Nick demanded I play and was like,
I didn't demand. Just FYI.
Yes, you did. You were so worried that the alpha was going to close and I wasn't going to get to play it. You're like, we are doing this. And I'm like, okay. But I will say it was worth it. So Back 4 Blood is made by the same developers that made Left 4 Dead and Left 4 Dead 2, which is a historically well-known franchise if you are a Valve or Steam fan. A great zombie sort of survival game where you're running around with guns, trying to avoid being murdered by zombies and the different types of zombies that there are. I got to play the closed alpha just for about an hour and a half with Nick and ya boy. And I must say, it is a great game. There are a lot of bugs, of course. However, the game is not expected to come out till late next year, so there's plenty of time to fix them. I definitely can see me and Nick, and of course Carl and James and James of course played the closed alpha as well.
Yep.
Also, fuckers are stupid.
Yes, that's very accurate. And so are those damn what is it? The giant one-armed guys, whatever the hell they're called.
Sluggers or something like that.
Slugger, whatever the hell they're called. It is going to be a very fun game that I can see me, Nick, and James having a lot of fun with late next year. So if you guys are any fans of Left 4 Dead 2, we got to play the closed alpha this year. It was a lot of fun. I highly recommend it, and I'm looking forward to when it comes out next year.
Nice. All right, Carl, you're up.
Yep. All right, so now we get into the more interesting games on my list. So.
But what? The other games weren't that interesting?
Well, I mean, I have a little, I have a bit more to talk about for these.
One of them came out in 2018. So.
What the hell? Who just posted this thing in the what is this?
That's
book?
James.
Oh, the book with the six-pack
James,
dude on the
what the
cover?
hell
Yeah,
is
like
this?
what?
I'm sorry, Carl. James just put like porn in our chat. I don't know what the hell this is.
It's
I
not.
would just label it as an NSFW chat.
Oh god,
Good
I'm
thing
sorry,
you're not at
Kyle. Go ahead.
work, Kyle.
Yep.
All right, Carl.
So for my third favorite game in 2020 is Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition. This, unlike Super Mario 3D All Stars, counts because it's a pseudo remake of, well, not remake, but remastered version of the original. Now, this game, I pretty much got into this series starting with Xenoblade Chronicles 2 back in 2017, and once I got used to like the combat mechanics, I pretty much wanted to try the original. And in this game, like honestly, with its updated mechanics, I feel like is a huge improvement over the original. Like first of all, like the UI itself was overhauled to be a bit easier to read, and there are these other visual cues, such as an exclamation point over certain attack or certain moves that you can use, which states that, oh, you should probably use this move at this point because it would deal more damage, for example. Another thing that I like about Xenoblade is first the setting. I find like the concept of just roaming around on, like the whole entire world being on two Titans, and pretty much and that just leads to interesting level design. And I think like the final thing I was to talk about is the music. The remastered music is just, oh, it's so good.
Eargasm.
It is amazing to listen. Like, if you guys have not listened to Xenoblade, like to the definitive version's soundtrack, give it a listen. Heck, even give the original a listen as well. Like, both are equally as good in my opinion.
All right. Quickly saying in the chat, Luigi is asking, wait, where is Pants at Work on ratings? Sounds like
that game did not come out this year.
Yep. Also with the Definitive Edition, I forgot that it actually was released this year, but at the same time, I only played the Future Connected, so I didn't play the whole game.
Oh
so,
yeah, there's added content. That's right.
Yeah. So, man, no. Still one of the things I technically have not played the main campaign, in my opinion. Link's Awakening is also great. Yep. You done, Carl?
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, next on my list, on my long list of things. So this is going to be a slightly weird one for you guys because this is kind of out of left field, but it's called Puyo Puyo Tetris 2. I actually enjoyed the Puyo Puyo Tetris first game because I'm a sucker for actual Tetris. Honestly, I like Tetris, and Puyo Puyo was an interesting concept. I'm just not good at it. Also, I just like the funny cutscene of rated E game that has a lot of innuendos in it. Trust, it has a lot of innuendos. And I actually was excited to try Puyo Puyo Tetris 2. I haven't beat the campaign, but I played it and I'm still enjoying the gameplay and all that. It has online multiplayer, which I could play with other people if they have it. But for the most part, Puyo Puyo Tetris adds both Tetris players and Puyo Puyo people together to play a game, and I think that's actually pretty cool. I think what really charmed me is like the different types of characters and the overall presentation for the game. I think it's like pretty well made, in my opinion. It's definitely not for everyone because you could say like it's a very anime-esque style game. So, but I think if you like either Tetris or Puyo Puyo, this game actually has it. It has multiple like different ways to play each one, and as well it has online and has a pretty good cast of characters to play voice acting and everything. So I think it's worth the $40 I paid for it, and definitely it's one of my more favorite casual games. I like to play it on the sides every once in a while because I have like quite a bit of casual games I like to play, and this is like one of them. Mystery Dungeon was also released last year.
I'm glad you like Tetris because I cannot do that game at all.
Tetris is actually one of my favorites. Like I like to play. I mean, Tetris 99, as you guys, I think Kyle has mentioned that I played over close to 200 hours on the Tetris 99.
Yeah,
Yeah, you have a lot in that game. Dude, fight me in Tetris Attack, though.
Tetris Attack is the game that I'm not great at, but Kyle is better at that one than I am. Still need to beat our goal of getting a minute in super hard mode.
Challenge, yeah.
Yep.
Let's make it happen. We can stream both perspectives as you requested, even though
both
you can see both on one screen.
Yeah. But yeah, Puyo Puyo Tetris is my... What game is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 game? Number 8 game.
Oh, don't worry, you've got like 10 more.
Yeah.
Sean and I will just be here chilling.
Yep.
All right.
I'm gonna wait to do my 2021 games until you guys are done with your 2020.
Yeah, same.
All right.
I've got like 4 or 5 2021 games.
I mean, should I talk about my non-2020 release games, like favorite like experiences, or should I like get into that category next? Or
It depends on to you. I have a few games on that. Sean can also add a few that game because he has already done with his list. So if you want Carl and I to finish our list first, then we can go ahead with
sure,
that.
we could do it that way. That would make more sense to like separate it into different segments.
Yep.
Let's speak on it, Nick. You've got like 10.
Yep.
All right. All right. In this case, then, my second favorite 2020 game of this year, believe it or not, Luigi Fire, is Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team DX. That game released in March of 2020 this year.
All right, it did.
So, yeah, it was not last year. It was this year. Like I was afraid when Luigi Fire posted that in chat. I was like, wait a minute, wait, no, please don't. But no, because I remember playing the demo in March. No, not in March, in January, and then playing the actual game in March.
Yep.
So, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. It's one of my favorite series. It's like, how should I say? I first got into the series with Pokemon.
Oh my God! Slow down. Sorry.
With Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Gates to Infinity, and I love that game despite its flaws. I won't get into it here. Like I can discuss that another time. But in the meantime, so pretty much ever since playing Gates to Infinity, I played its sequel and now this game. And I gotta say, like the remake is amazing, albeit a bit easy during certain points. There's a lot of quality of life stuff that was ported over from Pokemon Super Mystery Dungeon, and like such as holding down the L button and displaying up like move menus, and showing which moves are super effective against certain Pokemon. Another thing that I also liked was the auto move feature. Pretty much, if you just want to get a move on and just avoid certain combat, like combat, you can do that in this game. Like just to get a move on. I wouldn't recommend doing it during the main campaign. I think it's better off in post game. Now, this game has given me a lot of rage though, especially on stream.
Oh yeah.
Like there's way too many rage moments where I'm like, why do I keep missing? Why do I keep missing? I was like, are you kidding me? How did I miss? But despite those, I will say it is still a fun experience.
That's good.
Didn't Nick stream Pokemon Mystery Dungeon recently?
Yeah, super.
Super
Yeah.
Mystery Dungeon is still on a thing, but I only stream it when Carl's is available. But due to recent things, he was unable, so I haven't been streaming it recently.
Yes. I should be. It should be coming back soon, though.
Same thing with other things that are going to be coming back, which I think Justin is going to be excited for.
Indeed.
Indubitably. All right.
Indubitably.
I'm also, by the way, on floor 90, so we don't have to rush it, Carl, but FYI on people.
Okay.
My next one is a game which I'm actually kind of surprised that Sean and Carl did not research this, because I would believe they would add this on their list. Mystery Dungeon and Ranger are the best spin-off. Agreed on Ranger. I played that as a kid, but I might consider playing that on stream at another point. But man, Mystery Dungeon, Ranger is going to be a good game. But I'm actually surprised that Sean and Carl did not put this on the list or research when it released, because my other game is technically Unrailed. That game came out a year ago, but officially released this year.
Oh, see, it is on my honorable mentions, but I didn't. It said 2019, so that's why I didn't.
That's the initial release. I looked it up. The official actual release was this year, 2020.
Yeah, the 1.0 build came out this year.
Gotcha. It's a good game. Good game.
It's a fun co-op game. I don't have much to say about it because it's one of those games that it's fun to play. It's a lot of fun to play with friends. It can be a little bit frustrating here and there, but it definitely is one of those things is that it requires a lot of cooperation, and I think it's like with the proper people and everything, and with proper cooperation, I think it can be a really good game. Like, I had a lot of fun with it when I first saw it, and I was just like, I think I remember, because I first played it with both Chris and James, because they were playing it along with Jamie. Carl and Sean got it a little bit later, and I had fun with it. It's just one of those things, it can be slightly stressful due to the fact that there's a lot of, you can interfere with each other even when you don't mean to.
Yeah, it's very claustrophobic in terms of character movement.
Yeah, but I think its overall aesthetic is fine. As I said, it requires a lot of cooperation, and if you plan ahead and all that stuff, I think it could be really, it's a really good and intensive game. Also, yes, Greninja. Yes, we did not say Poke Park, but that's on purpose because Poke Park is not a great game. I'm kidding. Call out. Oh, Justin's gonna hate me for that one. Wait, what's going on? I can't read the chat really quickly. There's Alt F4. Ranger's so hard. Ranger's hard. I never played the original other series.
It's like, it's like the realization is like the game closes.
The moment I pressed it, I was like, wait a minute, no.
Yeah, I remember that. I said that randomly. Also, check that clip out. It was a funny moment. Yeah, congratulations, Matt, for getting Hoot Hoot finally.
Thank you. Thank you for getting...
You what, Nate? Justin's already want to fight me. But yeah, that's my...
But Yu-Gi-Oh streams, he wants to fight you.
you want to get beaten on Smash again? Justin's angry. All right, Carl, you're up. Last game on your list?
Yes, indeed. My final game, my favorite game of 2020 is, predictably, Animal Crossing New Horizons.
Animal Crossing New Horizons, baby!
Here we go again.
Pretty much, Kyle has pretty much listed the same reasons as to why it's such a good game, and why everyone should play it. But as for me, just to add my own perspective on it, I've pretty much gone through the series since New Leaf. Well, but not when it first released. Rather, it was when the update to New Leaf, the major update to New Leaf, was added, which was Welcome Amiibo. I got that game, I loved it, and then once when New Horizons came out, I was like, oh man, I gotta get this game now. And man, I have not looked back. I've been trying to keep up with daily tasks, but ever since certain events that happened, I kind of had to put down the game a little bit. But pretty much for the majority of the year, I played it. I pretty much played it almost daily, and currently it is my second most played game on my Switch, with it, which is only beaten by Smash Bros. Ultimates. But yeah, I pretty much I love the customization of the game. Pretty much how you can set up the island, the design patterns of clothing, furniture, and so on and so forth. Pretty much a lot of the stuff. Like the freedom that you have in the game is amazing, and which is why Animal Crossing: New Horizons is my game of 2020.
All right. Quickly. What?
Just saying ye.
All right. Quickly just saying, Luigi, can you explain what Little Misfortune is to James? Because in typing it out, because I don't know much about it. You do. So I ask you to explain it a little bit. Also, yeah, flip the game.
The only misfortune that I know is she's traditionally seen as an 80 carry. Has 2 flintlock plunder pistol thing jigs. She's a pirate.
Yeah.
Anyway. League of Legends.
Yeah.
Moving on.
So this is gonna be a solo run from here on out for me because I still got like 6 games to go through.
Oh my god, dude,
I
make
played
it quick.
3 games in 2020.
Yeah, don't worry, I'm gonna make them quick.
Describe each game in 10 words or less.
Well, considering the fact that you guys described like all your games in like 50 sentences.
Okay, man.
Okay, so my next game is the last technically released game of this year. It is a game that actually James got me into as well, and then brought some of us into. It is Black Wake. It was officially released in this year. Yeah, Black Wake it's a very simple game in the sense of it's a bit buggy. It's not that polished, especially since it's being developed by only like 2 people or something like that. And I find it like it's actually really fun if you have like a lot of people, because the first time we played it on my stream, we actually laughed a lot because we kept like acting like pirates. We kept dying. We played it with like Chris and other people, and I remember Sean tried it a little bit before it got super heavy. But the only reason why is because like one of the reasons why we don't play it now is because it's super resource heavy. So it's not that I don't have fun with it. I actually want to play a little bit more of it later. But the last time we tried it, it was super resource heavy to a point where we had to like just not play it because it was not optimized well.
Well, the older Jamie had an older laptop, so that's we had a hard time bringing her into a game without the game just like crapping itself.
Yep. Also, I'll quickly say, see you later, Sai. Thank you for joining. I'll be playing Twilight Princess 2 days from now on Wednesday, my time, 1 p.m. Pacific time. So I hope to see you then. Otherwise, yeah, take care and thank you so much for joining. I'll catch you later. Anyway, keep going, James.
But yeah, it runs like, at least on my computer, it's run all right with the periodic crash. But otherwise, like once it gets running, it seems to run all right with some, depending on how strong your connection is.
Yep. Yeah, but Black Wake is definitely one of my more favorite games that I've played in this recent year due to multiplayer wise. It was just actually pretty funny. I think it's
I did encounter a few racist turds, but I did manage to get one of them kicked.
Yep. Yeah, a lot of people kept making weird ones, like on the ships wise. I think one of them kept saying their ship was the Kanye West, so we kept writing Kanye West. So
what is that supposed to be?
They just wanted to ride Kanye West.
But some people named their ships things like the N-word, so like I started a vote it took a long time because the vote slowly accumulated, but like eventually I got the 5th person to vote kick the captain who named their ship like the N-word, but like actually spelled out, and I was like, yeah. finally.
Hmm.
But then we didn't really have a captain, so it just made someone else pick a random captain.
That just sounds like the SS racist. Ooh,
Yeah, I mean, I've actually played it, and I actually became captain, and I was like one of the best captains because like I actually did a lot really well that one time, but that was like one of those like rare moments. But
Oh
yeah.
yeah, I had a mutiny. I had a bunch of people who were like, "This captain sucks," and I'm like, because well, sometimes you just have a crew that is just incompetent, and so they just like collectively blame the captain.
That's great.
Yep. All right, so I'm at the boss, so I'll keep talking as I go to the final boss. But I'll say it after I read a bit of dialogue because this boss is gonna have small bit of dialogue. Give me 1 second. If I can find him.
Also, I'm gonna be muted for the next 5 minutes as I put the birds to sleep.
Go for it. I'll just be reading this. Hold on. Which one would be a good voice? Let's do this one.
Who is that?
Oh. Oh god, what is happening?
Gotta sing this in sing mode. The chariot rock. Hallelujah.
That's like the biggest boss I've seen in. Oh no.
The ancients locked me in this wretched place. I am the wrathful god. Breakdown.
Sorry, Matt Star.
Oh, sing mode.
I'm sorry, but PhantoYoshi redeemed it.
Why did you wake me from the sweet peace of slumber? I will punish you with death. Soon you shall understand the wrath of gods. Hallelujah.
Oh, did you just explode?
Well, my batteries died.
Hold on, I got batteries. Luckily, I was prepared for this. I was just prepared. All right. Let's put this back in. I'm back in. So this boss is not that bad. All right, my next. Effing lol. Yep. So my next game actually is all of you played at some point? Yeah, things about battery death. Yeah. It's the Jackbox Party Pack 7. It's a multiple pack, but it was released this year and it's still technically a game. It's actually one of the best games the Jackbox games I've played in a long time. Cause like I remember I have owned all the Jackbox games. And Jackbox Party Pack 6 was fun because it had Push a Button Trivia Murder Party 2. Jackbox 5 was a little bit disappointing. That timed perfectly, yep. And Jackbox Party Pack 7 was actually a lot of fun compared to a lot of like all the other Jackbox games we've played. And the time I streamed it with all the games, it was a lot of fun. Like it was super fun compared to like the other games we've played. And so I just enjoy it. I think it's better. The only problem I have with it is that getting audience members is actually very, very difficult because a lot of it requires a lot of communication verbally. Like The Devil Has No Deals is a fun game, I think, but the problem is that being on Discord, it pretty much requires you being on Discord to talk, and as well as so many people are talking at once that it really makes it super difficult to organize everything.
Yeah, it's not very well optimized because it lets you play with up to 8 players, but it's not well optimized for that many.
Yep, and
It's a mess.
yeah, and then there's other ones that you have to kind of like ad-lib a speech that requires you guys being an actual call. So that is something that while I had a lot of fun with, it's not great for audience players. You have to use Discord. Yep, you have to use Discord for some of these. Streaming it on Discord without delay also helped. That's what I also liked when we were going through Discord, because I remember many of these Jackbox games I could not stream on Discord. At least they didn't have it, and doing on Discord helps a lot. But Jackbox Party Pack 7 is definitely one of my favorite, if not the favorite, Jackbox compilation. It's not my favorite. It doesn't have all my favorite Jackbox, like my favorite Jackbox games. Because I still like Trivial Murder Party 2 and like Push the Button. But it's the compilation overall. Still a lot of fun when you can get it organized and not as chaotic. Also, quickly, the boss at it is Ragtail, very menacing lord of the Pit of 100 Trials. HPT is question mark. Attack is 10. It can fly, swoop down with a big mouth. I think it's a prototype improved Fractail from the old desert. The ancient must have built it, but Fractail is its attendance like we thought. This boss is exactly like Fractail, by the way, so it's not that different. My next game is gonna be the same.
Are you cheesing it?
Yeah, yeah,
I
no.
thought I was just gonna straight up die.
Yeah, no. This boss with the characters is actually makes it super easy. Oh, hold on. Woo! My next game on the list is actually Fall Guys. So going on this one, since it's been talked about twice now, I'm not gonna say anything much outside that it was a fun multiplayer game. I have a lot of fond memories of it, even though we had it like early on, and I think it's like, even though there was a lot of hackers and then there was a lot of like, oh hey, people are cheating kind of thing, I still had fun with it. I don't know. I thought it was a very fun with some of the hackers because it was funny seeing people fly, and I thought that overall it was like a fun multiplayer to get. The biggest problem is with it is definitely just getting a crew together in the same lobby at the time, and it was super chaotic. So definitely had to improve, but I haven't played season 3 yet, so definitely I'm going to try that soon, see how it is. Also, as traditional sake, Kyle, as I bought this
Yellow box.
mystery YOLO.
Mystery YOLO.
Oh, not bad.
So it's the one shot.
I don't know if it's gonna one shot.
Nope.
But okay, so and then going on my next list, let's see. I have actually that was made, like it was confirmed that it was made at like a previous year, but it was never fully released until this year. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 remastered campaign remastered. I have a story why this game is on my list. Is because I actually played Call of Duty Modern Warfare as a kid, and that was one of my big FPS games I played outside of Halo, because I played a lot as like when I was at a family friends, and it was like one of my favorite games I've ever played as a kid. And seeing it remastered, I played the heck out of it. I have both the PS4 and the PC version, and I even 100%ed all the achievements on that game. And seeing it remastered and playing it all, I even showed Carl being like the whole remastered campaign, and I still think it's still great in my opinion. It's definitely, in my opinion, the best one of the best Call of Duty campaigns out there. So I highly recommend if anyone wants to try Call of Duty per se.
Yeah,
Rack. What'd you say, Carl?
I was impressed by it. Yeah. Like, as someone that's not, an FPS kind of guy, I was actually really intrigued by its campaign.
Oh yeah, no, I definitely think, like, I need to show you the first one and then the third one, because I think the stories overall would actually be interesting for you, Carl.
Gotcha.
Ark, I'm done. But you have not yet won. I am not the only monster created by the ancients. Greater terrors await you on the flop side pit of 100 trials. Rack.
And quickly going before this whole thing ends, my next game, it has been talked about on the list, is Animal Crossing New Horizons.
I'm crossing New Horizons, baby.
But this game is not my number one. I'll go into it a couple things. Animal Crossing was my very first Animal Crossing game I've ever played. I've seen Chugga Conroy on YouTube. He's a great guy on YouTube. Play it of New Leaf, and it got me interested. But the reason why I never got into Animal Crossing is because it felt very limiting in a lot of cases, and I didn't like that. and I wanted to do more. And with New Horizon coming out with all the DIYs and then with all the landscaping, I actually very much enjoyed it. And I got it a week after it was released. And I started playing it. And playing it with Kyle, Carl, and everyone else, it was a lot of fun. I think it was worth going into. The reason why it's not high on my list is because the update schedule for it, which made me fall off the road a lot. It's because it was slow on getting new content out to a point where I kind of got really bored and tedious with some of the things. So once I completed a lot of things, I ended up just being bored on it for a long time. And I just dropped off. I haven't played it in a long time. And so I was just like, yeah, I'm just going to have to just stop for a while and get back to it whenever I feel like it, once enough content's come out. Definitely, but other than what has been said, New Horizons is definitely a game that I very much enjoyed that was released this year. Also, we were brought up in hard times. Modern Warfare 2 online lobbies were brutal. Kids nowadays don't know the real show. I actually never played Modern Warfare online lobbies a lot because at the time I never owned it. I got it like very late, so I never got into the online lobbies. But I've heard many stories about it, like many stories, because I was brought up in the world. So I don't know the lobbies personally, but still one of those things. Also, Luigi, you should try to get New Horizons so you can play it with all of us.
Yes.
Also, before I even go to open this case, the last game on my list, which is number 1, which is actually one of our the co-commentators number 1. Phasmophobia is my number 1 game that was released this year.
Let's go!
Dude, Animal Crossing crew, Carl. Animal Crossing, dude.
I find it more fun than Animal Crossing because I still play it to this day, and there's a lot of stuff going into it. And as I said, we haven't even gone to the meme side of Phasmophobia yet for all of us. And once I officially die, because if you guys don't know, Phasmophobia, ever since I've gotten it, and we've been playing it almost every single week, I have yet to die officially. Everyone in this call who has Phasmophobia has all died at least once.
That's bullshit.
And I have yet to die. So once I die, I'm planning to go with full Mimi on it. So it's gonna be funny.
So Carl, we know who's going in the house next.
Yep. So, other than what's said, Phasmophobia is like my favorite game of this year. So, and one of my favorite games of multiplayer wise we've ever played. Did you guys ever play Horizon Zero Dawn on PC port this year? Outstanding game. I have Horizon Zero Dawn on PS4, but the only person who has played it in full is Sean, who is very much looking forward to Horizon Zero Dawn number 2. So,
yeah, right.
So Sean knows it more. Carl and I have been watching me play. It's all on our own time. I will get back into it with Carl as well as along with Color Splash. So it's one of those things that.
It's so long though.
Yeah, but we'll get back into it eventually. But so far I'm enjoying it. Carl's been enjoying watching it. But yeah, we are playing Phas. I'm gonna get. Yeah, you're gonna get me killed. I mean, one of these days I am gonna get killed. I know I'm gonna be killed. Predictably, I am gonna be killed. So one of these days, it's just one of those things. Is that I'm trying to see how long I can go without dying. So whenever I die, I hope it's recorded just to see how funny it will be.
This is the 12th grade Hamlet tag bullshit. You need to be tagged. You need to die.
If Grace is still streaming, we can raid her with all of our stuff. Also, yeah. So, but that is my whole list. We will then go to honorable mentions as I go through do other stuff. But first, whoa! You defeated that monster of a dragon? Really crazy? That's crazy. You didn't know how to train your dragon? Reference to a movie. And you were able to clear those 99 other rooms? Boy, wow, just wow, seriously. I'm stunned, absolutely incredible. Here, for you. Clap. Rad, as that was, though I've gotta warn you, stay on your toes for what's ahead. Listen up and listen good. You must treasure life. Got to. You've absolutely got to. Absolutely got to.
Catch them all, Pokemon.
The chances here. I mean, don't you think so? I'm sure you agree. All right, done. Gravy. Fate brought us both here, and so I will lend you my power. And this is the third and optional pixel you can get in the game. This is pixel named Dashel. This one actually makes me run fast. So Dashel and Shuffle, and you'll be able to charge a fiercest attacks. Gotta tell you, that's how I survive many a battle. Yep, fleeing, it works. Trust in the power, and you can run away in a peaceful world. So Dashel is unique because I can actually run really fast. This is one of the things I was considering with Sean, but since the whole pit's gonna take a while, Dashel makes you run super fast if you hold the bounce button. So, but I didn't have it until now.
Scary, but faster.
Yep.
And it's not like that one power up which makes you go extremely fast, like 1.5 times speed.
I want to quickly point out, I had no idea Nick was actually going to put Phasma as his #1. I'm very impressed right now.
I was considering putting Animal, but then Phasma is like, nah, I had a little more fun with Phasma than overall.
Awesome.
You've enjoyed watching me and Carl die.
There was times where I didn't record every single moment, but probably from here on out, I should. There was times where I should have died, and yet Lissa, one of our other players, who's not here, and Sean,
Friend of the show, what timers for my guest?
yeah, and also Sean have died in the end. So just like one of those things is like, yeah, I should have died, but I ended up not for some reason. So
Well, I have to say that during like multiple times during a hunt, was it Nick and I are always the first ones out, and then the door locks behind us.
speaking of which, of Phasmophobia, Grace is actually playing it right now after quickly looking at the stream.
Yeah, she is.
Shall we raid?
And she calls herself a noob. Get out of here. She's playing it.
Oh yeah, let's just see how Captain Gills is doing. Oh hey, Captain Gills. Oh, you have babies.
What the hell?
Also, look at all the bones.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh yeah,
Clearly
also
Captain Gills is a revenant.
beating the entire game. Actually did not get me yet. Oh, there's something I have to do right before I have to do that. Got it. But yeah, as I go through some things, because I'm gonna try to prepare for the next one, let's go with some honorable mentions and some games we're looking forward to, because we have that list ready. I don't think I've ever met Grace. If you want to meet Grace, here's a shout out. She is a friend of our stream. She comes in every so often, but she plays like a variety of games. She likes to play Halo, other games, like also PS4 games like Skyrim and Final Fantasy VII. So give her a follow if you feel so. She's streaming right now. But yeah. But let's go with some honorable mentions. Who wants? I'll go last. Let's just list off the games. So Kyle, Sean, Carl, you guys go first with your lists.
I don't have the honorable mentions.
We're going in the order we were in.
I mean,
before then.
Carl, you can make one right now if you ever want to, or not, or what your games
You
you're
can
looking
make one while Kyle and I are monologuing.
Also, like what you're looking forward to, if you want.
So I can just give my honorable mentions pretty quickly. So the games I named already are all the games that I would consider to be like a game of the year list for the year 2020. And my honorable mentions are all games that I played for the first time this year, or I guess you could say played in a new way this year, that did not actually come out in the year 2020, but I think are worth mentioning as some of my favorite game experiences this year. And that's because this year I launched my Twitch channel back in March. I mean, I've had my account for years, but I first started streaming in March of this year. And some of the most notable games that I've played on my Twitch channel this year were Night in the Woods, which I've played through several times. To explain the game really quickly, Night in the Woods is a like a story-based adventure game in which you play as a college dropout who moves back to her crappy coal mining town and basically struggles to fit back in with her community. And it kind of deals with kind of a mix between like themes of social isolation and like alienation for the main character, but also deals with a lot of social themes as well. Other noteworthy games from my streams were a game called A Short Hike, which was sort of a hidden gem and like I think the most like surprisingly amazing game that we played on my stream this year. It's another game from the itch.io bundle I mentioned earlier that I just kind of played it randomly one evening thinking it looked like just kind of a chill, relaxing game. And it turns out it's like really wholesome and sweet. It's a fairly short adventure game in which you just play as a little bird that needs to climb to the top of a mountain to make a phone call. And along the way, you just meet a lot of other characters and have these cute interactions. And you can like wander around the island, like collecting things, going fishing, and a bunch of other stuff. And then other games that we played on my stream was the Emily's Away series, which kind of similar to Left on Red, which I talked about as one of my 2020 games earlier. Emily's Away is there's 2 games in this series thus far, and it's basically a series of experimental games in which you play like sort of a simulator of like instant messenger clients from the mid-2000s, and it kind of like makes a lot of reference to like the technology and social media of that time. And the last honorable mention game is Pokemon Vietnamese Crystal, which I played on my Twitch channel.
What the fuck does that mean?
Pokemon Vietnamese Crystal?
Vietnamese Crystal?
Yeah, Pokemon Vietnamese Crystal is a machine-translated broken English bootleg of Pokemon Crystal version that was apparently released in Vietnam as a bootleg game sometime in like the early 2000s or something. If you even look up screenshots of some of the gameplay, you'll kind of get what sort of mood the game is pretty quickly. For example, a mistranslation of inserting items into your bag results into the game coming up with sentences like player name, Barry, bag fuck. Oh, nice timing, Nick.
Oop.
And just other weird broken English, like talking about monks practicing Buddhism. Your rival tells you, I am a monster, the first time you meet him. And all sorts of other goofiness like that. So playing that game on stream was a pretty fun way to relive Pokemon Gen 2 in a really quirky and unique way. And yeah, those are my honorable mention games. My Twitch channel is twitch.tv/Digitsbby for anyone who wants to follow me.
All right, Sean, you're up.
I'll do half of my honorable mentions to the other half of my honorable mentions, and then get to 2021 on my third try around.
No, you can list them all at once if you want. We're going through all at once.
Oh, okay. Crap, hang on.
You got a crap?
No, I can't look at my list because every time I do push to talk, it keeps putting these new characters in my notepad, so I can't see them.
Of course.
Okay, there we go. Sorry, I had to take a picture of the list with my phone so that when I hold down my ampersand, the key below the escape key. Oh, tilde. When I hold down the tilde, I won't put stuff in my notepad. I'll just do the honorable mentions of games that I played this year, and then I'll do 2021 the next go around. Unrailed for sure has to be one of the games that I really enjoyed this year. Great kind of Mario Party type game where you and a group of people really have to work together. Well, I guess that's not Mario Party, but you have to
Mario
work.
Party are really trying to kill each other.
Yeah, that is accurate. You just have to get to group together and work to achieve a common goal, which of course is build train tracks. And me and Nick and Carl had a lot of fun doing that. Shout out to Unrailed. Among Us, I know. I think it's a 2020 game myself, and so does the Game Awards, by the way. So don't let anyone, Nick, tell you that it's not a 2020 game. Great game. Here's a game that me and Nick really enjoyed in 2020. Surprised you didn't mention this. Well, I guess it did come out in 2020, but not Among Us. A Way Out is a great game. Nick, do you want to talk about A Way Out for a minute, since you kind of are better at talking about games?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Did we actually play it this year?
Yeah, we played it at the beginning of this year, during the pandemic, at the very beginning.
I forgot if it was. Man, it's weird.
Hey, before you talk about the game, apparently your game audio sounds weird on Discord.
That's on Discord. I think it's only on Carl's end. I don't know if you guys think it's weird. But
Oh yeah, it does sound weird on my Discord.
All right, give me a second. Sound better?
Hang on. Jump.
Yeah, there we go.
Sounds better. Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so A Way Out is basically, I forget the developer's name, but basically it consists of it's a very heavily cooperative game. You do need at least one person to play. The game controls two different people. One kind of like, I guess like a troublemaker in a sense, and another, like both of them are basically, he starts out you guys in a prison camp where one just starts coming into prison and the other was already in prison camp. And they all have their reasons for being in there. And I'm not going to go into any spoilers because I think the best way to experience the game is definitely playing it. It requires like you guys trying to break out the prison, but also looking out for each other. It really heavily works on cooperation and working with each other, getting through everything. And the story plays along as you guys are going. It's a very simplistic story if you really think about it, but the characters are well written, well acted, and like the whole story of cooperation is really great. It's only a few hour game if you guys sit down on it for a while. And I think it's like, and it's also, the game is great because I'm gonna go get on that, Matt, by the way. But if the game is great because if you have a copy, another person can either give a copy to a friend for free, or they can use a free trial demo of it, which can actually act like a full game. I know Sean has the game on PS4, and I actually downloaded a trial demo, and it worked and we played the game all the way together cooperatively. And actually, Sean and I were enjoying it at first as like a simple game. We actually goofed around a couple times, but when it got to the very end, Sean and I just like said like this game actually just bumped up to a really good point because the story just hit a perfect note for both of us that we were not expecting.
While Nick is hydrating, since it's I wanted Nick to go into, since it's one of my honorable mentions, the game's sort of description, because I think Nick does a lot better justice talking about games than I do. Did we find that game at PAX? Is that where we found that game? We just never got around to playing it?
You know, I actually don't think we ever did on PAX. I think I found it, and I think it was, I know the reasons. I think it's like we were looking up cooperative games on PS4, and I saw it on sale, or like it's one of those things, and you got it, or I gifted it to you, and it was like, this game can still work if one of us has a copy. And so I downloaded the trial version, and then we just worked on it, and it actually fully worked as a full playable copy. I think that's how we did it. I have a physical
copy of it.
Yeah, because I think I sent that to you as a gift.
Gotcha. Yeah, anyway, to echo exactly what Nick said, fantastic co-op game. Could not recommend it more. It seems like just a basic co-op escape the prison game, but the story really takes a turn. In there, the 75% mark into the game, like, I was blown away, like, for just how a random co-op game, it's such a great story. So huge props to the developers. Let me quickly pull up my other remaining games. I'll try to speedrun them, because I know, Carl, you have some good games as well.
Also, another thing about the developers is that they're also releasing more games that are similar to A Way Out, that if you buy a copy, you can give a copy to a friend to play with. So,
God, they're really good at freaking emphasizing co-op game. That's awesome.
Yep. It Takes Two is coming out, and it actually looks a lot of fun, Sean, because it is all about a broken marriage, and you guys working together to fix it.
It's a great game for me and Kyle.
Why do you say that?
Are we not a broken marriage, Kyle?
Thank you everybody for listening to this episode of RetroBound Podcast. I think there's nowhere else to go from here. Yeah, thank you everybody for all the Digitsbby, and I'll see you around.
Oh, I got to hydrate.
Oh, Lord.
All right. Go, Sean.
Look what happened. Kyle divorced me.
Yeah.
Couple last bits of things. This one doesn't take much of a description. Uno. If you don't have that game on Steam, highly recommend it. It's kind of glitchy.
Uno was invented like a bajillion years ago.
Yep. Well, it's an honorable mention.
I played that when I was like 5.
Well, we're playing Uno, the crappy. Is it Origin or
Ubisoft?
Ubisoft, and you know the game, despite the fact that Ubisoft sucks ass, it's just annoying to try to play the game. It's still a fun thing for me and Carl and Nick have enjoyed this year. Another game Carl and Nick enjoyed was Pummel Party. I won't, aka Violent Mario Party.
Rated
Mario
M.
Party is violent.
No, Pummel Party is violent Mario Party. Trust me.
It's Mario Party with blood.
It's Mario Party with like violence. It is a great, great game. Really recommend it. For if you like Mario Party and want to get gory, I could not recommend it more. Another game that I took Nick is going to get mad at me. 3 or 4 years to finally play after I got it at PAX and promised the developer I'd play it, and then never did.
I got very mad at you for doing that.
Yeah, I told the developer at PAX, he was at PAX, yeah, I'll play your game, I'll review it, and I'll let you know how it goes.
Also,
Then
I think you also promised to stream it at one point.
And then never did.
Everybody follow
Headliner.
twitch.tv/SeanQuinnSports.
Yeah, so Headliner, it is a game about a journalist who tries to he is the editor of a newspaper that dictates what happens in a game. So you're like, you are a editor-in-chief of a newspaper, and you have to pick like which articles will run in the newspaper, and whatever you choose shapes the events of the game. And it's really fascinating because it brings up a lot of journalism ethics and sort of like how journalism sort of shapes the way the world runs. And so if you run like a lot of far-right propaganda in your newspaper, a lot of your society is going to be based around far-right things that go on in your town. And like one thing that I noticed when I run playthrough of the first Headliner game, not the Novi one, but the first Headliner game, was how I talked about this new, ironically enough, how great and timely this was, a new vaccine to this new disease. And it brought up a lot of like anti-vaxxers, of course, in the game, and they're like, it creates a situation where you have like anti-vaxxer terrorism, where they basically create a form of bio-warfare where they try to create this virus that replicates and blah, blah, blah. I won't get into it for long, but it's a great game. Highly recommend Headliner. 3 more games. These are easy. Smash. I know it's been out forever, but love Smash. Love playing Smash with Carl when Carl's not destroying me. Super Mario Odyssey. And by the way, all these games are courtesy of BlazerGamer112. Please give them money so he can buy me more things. Please sub to BlazerGamer112 so he can buy me more things.
Okay.
Super Mario Odyssey game that Nick got me. Great game. Love it. Haven't beaten it yet. Oops. And then Pokemon Sword. Another game that I really enjoyed, but for some reason can't seem to pick up and keep being consistent at it. And then my next go around, I'll talk about 2021 games I'm looking forward to.
Oh, my like 7-year-old nephew has like 6 level 100s in that game in Sword. But I guess
Sword.
they made leveling like on crack in that game.
Yes.
I guess.
Yep.
So unlike the older generations where if you wanted to level to something to 100, it would take like 15-20 hours of just beating the shit out of random wild Pokemon Pokemon to level them to 100.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think also Matt can attest to that, considering the fact he played Platinum and all that stuff, as well as Will doing his Nuzlocke challenge too. So playing older Pokemon games definitely showcases how struggle it was in the old days.
In the year.
All right, Carl, you're up.
Alright, so I'm assuming that this is just stuff that I'm looking forward to, or
games that you played in 2020 that didn't come out in 2020 that you liked.
okay. I pretty much already said all, like, I said for like the games I played in 2020, aside from like Smash Brothers. Smash Brothers is a fun game.
We were destroying everybody.
Last night was like such a fun time. You know, you get to hang out with everyone.
I mean, you were actually having a lot of fun, so I mean, it was a fun stream. There's always those times where streams are just so fun, you never want to end.
Like, it was so much fun that I forgot to do Xenoblade.
Mm-hmm.
So, I guess in terms of like what I'm looking forward to do, I guess like in terms of multiplayer games, I forgot that Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury is coming out.
I want you guys to get it. Sean and Carl get it so we can record it. Please do. I already pre-ordered it.
Super Mario 3D World and Bowser's Fury.
What's Bowser's Fury?
We don't know.
It's new content.
Yep.
And it looks to be a lot of fun, and it looks faster than the original. Thank God.
Is Super Mario 3D World the SMG4 episode where Bowser's a cat?
Yep.
Yes. I can't reference SMG4 first with that.
I don't know the game, but I know the SMG4 video.
Though, okay, thing that I am actually looking really forward to is the Pokemon Emerald run that I'm going to be doing.
Oh, Nick, hello. This seems like an important plot point.
Oh no, I'm just reading through it as we go. But Carl, if you want to continue, go for it.
Yeah, sure. Like I plan on doing a Pokemon Emerald randomizer, so it'll be only run. It's going to be interesting, and I've heard from multiple people. They told me good luck, and that scares me. But I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the single Pokemon run we saw, or actually you were watching part of it too, right? The guy who had to fight a gym leader 750 times.
Oh yeah, Simply Paris. By the way, good guy. He does simple Paris runs. So I'm gonna plug him even though he's not on here right now. Fun person. All right, keep going, Carl.
Well, I don't know what else to say about it. Like, other than it's gonna be starting. I plan on starting it next week, and I already wrote out the rules, and I can detail it later. It's gonna be. I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be my first randomizer and my first ever Pokemon challenge. So I have no idea what I'm expecting, like what I'm putting myself into.
Yep. Quickly going over chat. Saying for Matt. Yeah, older Pokemon games were extremely hard. Gen 1 Elite was it was tough, but I remember using the Gen 1 glitch of almost infinite rare candy, so I never had a problem with that. That's one of my old things I remember back in the old days. And goals to get one as well as join in on the action. Yeah. But here's how is that? Is she? Oh yeah, Luigi. Since you weren't here at the beginning, basically at the beginning, Francis made a copy of Tippy. This is Tiptron. So basically, that's how you're supposed to get Tippy, in a sense, Tippy back. But she has all the memories of Tippy, so she thinks she's Tippy. But she also has the memories that she knows that she's constructed by Francis. So there's conflicting thoughts here. So it's actually very dark. Also, and another thing, Nastasia is here. Yeah, I read through it. She says that she's just spending here. Thanks, Mario. And is happy that Blumiere is back with Lady Tipani. However, she is sad that he's not around. And she also confessed that she was never a match for Tipani, which hints that she had some feelings for Blumiere. Unfortunately, he never loved her in the sense, even though he saved her.
Womp womp.
So unfortunately, that is unfortunate for her. Okay, so with that list, for my honorable mentions, I actually played. I'm just gonna go through this really quickly because it's another long list because I played a lot of games this year. Batman Arkham Asylum is a game I've always wanted to try. Never got around to it. Finally played it. It's a great Batman game, especially if you like Batman. Very dark. Also, like, a lot of things about it. But I enjoyed it. I had played it on Steam. I'm glad I played it. Halo Master Chief Collection. I played all the campaigns on Legendary with James. It was a fun experience, except Halo 2.
We got shot by snipers.
Yeah, but overall, I enjoyed the game. I like Halo, so it's one of those games that I always looked forward to playing on PC.
I remember watching that.
The next two games are actually games that are part of the itch.io bundle, so James and Kyle will have this in their possession. Celeste and One Shot. Celeste is a great indie game because it requires a lot of platforming skills, but I think the trek up the mountain is worth it. I showed it to Emoto. James has also completed it, and I think all of us agree that it's a great, like, little game. It's not meant for the faint of heart for people who are not great at games, but I think the experience is there. I definitely think for Kyle, it's going to be one of those yeet your controllers if he actually is serious about it. And then One Shot I played this year, and I still think is one of the best games I've ever played this year. One Shot is another indie game that came out, I believe, in 2017 or 2018, but I've heard great things about it. I honestly think it is a great game. It's an 8-hour style game if you go for the 100% route. If you go for the normal story, it's only like a few hours, like 5 hours, 5 to 6 hours. But obviously, I think it's a very great game. If you haven't seen it, I have highlighted it on my channel, and I plan to get out a YouTube videos series out of it very soon, as I can. I think it's a great game. It's simple, but the story and the meta gameplay is really good. I really think it is. Then there is Dragon Ball FighterZ. It's a fighting game. I like Dragon Ball. It has a lot of fan service in it. I've been trying to get a little bit better at it. I just like overall just enjoy it. I'm gonna try to get a little bit competitive in that, but we'll see how well I do. Want to get more friends or play with people on that, so who knows? If I can get more people, I'll do it. Another game is Valkyria Chronicles 4. This is a game actually that I got Carl into, and he's currently playing.
Yeah. Yep.
I actually got recommended this by one of our boys in our server, Andrew. So shoutouts to him for saying that for telling me to get Valkyria Chronicles 4 scrub. And I played it. I actually did not enjoy it as much at the beginning, but as I went through it, the story actually got a lot better for me, and I actually thoroughly enjoyed it really, really well. Like, I honestly started enjoying it a lot. So I'm excited to see Carl play through it and see all his reactions, even though it's gonna take him like over a year to beat it.
Yeah, at this rate. But I will put... actually should have put this as an honorable mention, because I haven't finished the game yet, but it is starting to get a lot better.
Yep. But I definitely say, from here on out, Carl, I know I'm putting expectations higher, but I think this is for any good game. It gets better from here on out, to be honest. But next one is... I don't know if Kyle would be upset at me for this or not, but... I definitely liked Overcooked 2 as one of my honorable mentions this year.
I inhaled loudly through my nostrils as you said that. No, I mean, as much as I like to make fun of that game and how it's a meme about how mad I get at it, like, I do think the Overcooked games are actually, like, good and fun. They're just designed to be frustrating.
Mm-hmm.
Especially in later levels.
Yeah.
Yep. Eat that meat.
Yep, eat that meat. Also, Matt.
Yeah, it's true. That game has resulted in a lot of memes.
Yeah.
Grace wasn't even there, now she says you eat the meat a lot.
Oh, yeah. Matt, definitely if you get Dragon Ball FighterZ, I can show you some of the ropes to it, but yeah, it's a fun game. But yeah, Eat the Meat was some of it. So we had some great moments with Overcooked 2, and I think it's still a great game. Since Kyle finally got the season pass, we are now...
today.
Yeah, we are now able to play all the rest of Overcooked 2, because we did play some of the free DLC. So now all we need to do is just get the crew to get together to play Overcooked 2, and then we can potentially eat more meat together or make no strawberry banana smoothies. The game defeated Violissa and saved the world, Blazer. No thank you. Game, well, unfortunately, you have no choice in the matter. Lol. Next one is Twilight Princess HD. I'm enjoying it. I haven't beat it yet, but Twilight Princess HD I've been playing on my Wednesday streams. I've been enjoying it. It was recommended by a few people, and I've been wanting to play it for a while. So overall, this is my very first, as the furthest I've ever played, traditional Zelda game ever. So I'm liking it so far. Definitely I played the Wii U version because there's certain gameplay aspects that I've seen in the original GameCube that are not present in the Wii U because unnecessary things were done. Because every time you launch a game in the GameCube, it will always tell you what rupee you collect for the first time of that session. So I didn't want to have that, and certain aspects made it easier in the Wii U over the GameCube version. Another game I played is Professor Layton and the Miracle Mask. I like the Professor Layton series. This was my very first game I played of the Professor Layton because of all the puzzles and the trickery of the story. I think it's actually great. I think if you guys are ever interested in Professor Layton, do it. It's a great puzzle game. I think it has some really interesting stories. So definitely one of those games I played. Was very fun. Another game that I also been playing outside of streams that I've only been playing with the English patch and only been playing with Justin and Carl and Emoto is Phoenix Wright, the Grace 8th Attorney. While we haven't played that in a while, I actually have been enjoying the whole concept of the whole, what was it, like pre-World War II era or something? Oh, no, what era was it?
Well, okay, this is actually before any world wars. This is more along the lines of the Meiji Restoration period, so around 1889-ish? I'm trying to remember. Actually, Kyle, can you back me up on that?
That's around the time of the Meiji era, yeah. It's 2020 right now, and Japan has kind of just gotten past the Meiji era, so yeah, it's like, yeah.
Yeah, so that game was actually pretty fun. We are planning to play more of it, but as of right now, we have been enjoying it so far. And then the last ones are games I've streamed on my channel. I'm gonna go through them quickly. Yu-Gi-Oh! Spirit Caller. Main reason why I put this on here, I had a lot of fun moments with both, especially with Justin and Carl yelling at me how to play card games, and cringing at me, and late hours. But it's been one of those fun games. I started this year and I officially ended it this year. So that game is done, but I thank Justin for getting me into it. Shantae was another game I played on my stream. I got an official copy of it, and it is a great game on the GBC. Don't get official copy unless you're willing to drop $500 to $700 for a copy. I think it's great. I thank Jamie for helping me through it, and definitely also my friend who also helped me get it. So that's another thing. Pokemon Black finished the main story. Great game. First time finishing and beating Gen 5. So that is a game that I enjoyed overall. Still planning to play more post-game to just enjoy more of the game. Pummel Party. It's another fun game. Among Us is another fun multiplayer game I've always enjoyed. And Uno. Not going to go into too much because Sean already mentioned that, as well as Carl. There you go. That's my list.
Woot. Woot. Or as Edward would say, woo.
Woo. Any more lists we're going to go through?
I have my hype games of 2021 list. There's only 2 of them, so it's pretty quick.
Do I.
Go for it.
So 2021, oh man, there's some games I'm looking so much forward to, and you will be seeing them streamed on the channels of Nick or myself when they come out. What?
Are you gonna promote yourself again?
Yes.
No, this isn't for promotion. I'm just saying that I look forward to playing them. The first game on my hype list. The first game on my hype list is Emily is Away 3. So I talked briefly about the Emily is Away games in my honorable mentions. The first 2 games are basically simulations of mid-2000s instant messenger clients, and they kind of like parody a lot of like the pop culture around that time, as you play as like a high school kid / college kid chatting with their friend / crush. The third game, which is called Emily's Away 3, which is spelled with a lesser sign and a 3, so it's like Emily's Away with a heart sign, is it doesn't have an official release date on Steam. It's just listed as coming soon, but I assume it's probably coming next year. And it's supposed to take place with the interface of like old school Facebook as its gameplay, so it looks pretty interesting. And that'll be an exciting one to play as a stream game, because with the other games, I had already played the previous 2 Emily's Away games before, and so when I played them on my streams, I just left it up to my friends to vote on every decision we made in the game. But my plan is to play Emily's Away 3 completely blind. That way I can also have a role in the decision making, and me and my friends can all experience the outcomes of the game together.
Mm-hmm.
And the second game that I'm really looking forward to in 2021 is Imposter Factory, which was initially supposed to come out at the end of this year, but it's been pushed back until the spring of 2021. It's the 3rd full game in the To the Moon series, which for anybody who doesn't know about those, it's just a series of very moving visual novel stories that were made in RPG Maker. Yeah, they're all excellent games. I would say I would rank both To the Moon and Finding Paradise, the second game, as being like within probably like my top 10 favorite game stories ever. and so I have very high hopes for Imposter Factory. So the trailers have already come out for it, and just seeing what's been teased in the trailers makes me really excited. So I'm very much looking forward to that game. I'm probably just going to get it the day it comes out and play it like immediately, because I just want to experience it myself. I find I just get better invested in a video game store when I can play it myself rather than watching it being played. And also that'll enable to me to figure out exactly how long the game is, like on day one, so I can tell Nick and we can plan for when he streams it. So yeah, those are my 2 games: Emily's Way 3 and Imposter Factory.
All right, John.
Yeah, well, I had 3 games, and then Nick inspired me to put a 4th one on there. So, first one up is absolutely Horizon Forbidden West. Horizon Zero Dawn actually was introduced to me by a foreign exchange student who I got to know and was my roommate my sophomore year or junior year of college, and it changed my life. It is by far my favorite PlayStation 4 game of all time. It is one of the greatest open world games I think I've ever played. The story is unreal, and actually, I mean, I'm not a very emotional person when I play games, and that certainly did bring out a lot of emotions for me. It is just an unbelievable game with fantastic visuals, very difficult at times, but you always feel like you can, you feel like you can't stop playing. That's what I really love about the Horizon franchise, and I know Horizon Forbidden West is coming out next year. I just can't wait to tell you how excited I am to play that game. That's going to be so much fun, especially on the PlayStation 5. This game I don't know a lot about, but I've seen some research for it. Maybe Nick can talk about it, because again, Nick is sort of my more game journalist expert here. But Project Athia, it is a Square Enix game coming out for PlayStation 5.
Oh yeah, that thing.
There's not a lot of information out about it yet, other than that it's coming out late next year, probably Q4 2021, and the teaser trailer is unbelievable. I've played some Square Enix games from time to time. I'm not a real big fan of the Final Fantasy series. Sorry for you Final Fantasy fans out there. I know you guys love and defend your games to death, but I don't care. I think it's a little milky for me. That's a word I like to use. It's sort of I call
Alright, everybody unfollow SeanQuinnSports. Just kidding.
all you Final Fantasy fanboys. I'll just say that you guys are just as bad as Fast and Furious fans. So.
Oh,
Whoa!
These comparisons.
Whoa!
I mean, Final Fantasy has like 100% more sequels than.
It certainly feels like none of those franchises are coming to a halt anytime soon.
Fast and the Furious has like 7 movies. Final Fantasy has 15 games, not including the spin-offs.
Yeah.
And the second release of the game in that sequence, like 13 too, and so.
I mean, I really can't complain that much about redoing games because cough cough FIFA, cough cough Madden. But anyway, yes, Project Athia looks like a great Square Enix game. Nick, do you have anything to add about it?
It is a confusing game. I can't say too much about it due to the fact that the trailers are really, really odd. Like I can't. It's basically is following a woman going through this like psychological warfare of like I think it's like it's a woman with psychological. Or no, wait, hold on. Let me double check it. Is it? Or is it oh wait, no, it's the overworld thing. Yeah. So
yeah.
That one, yeah, there's like only one simple trailer. I can't say too much about it other than it looks pretty beautiful and you're going traveling around the world. So I think it's one of those games that it's gonna be definitely like exploring worldwide heavy. I think that's gonna be one of them.
So I did not know this until Nick decided to tell me that the developers of A Way Out are coming out with a sequel, or maybe new game, called It Takes Two. I didn't even know about it, and I just looked at first glimpses of it while you guys were talking, and it looks fantastic. So that is a game that I'm sure Nick will be streaming, and I will be playing with him as well.
It Takes Two. I'm gonna pre-order it anyway. It's only $40 anyway.
And then to finish off my games I'm looking forward to 2021, most certainly Hogwarts Legacy. I was never a big Harry Potter fan as a kid. However, I did read all the books. When the 7th book, is it the 7th book, Kyle? Do you know anything? Anyone know how many books there are?
8
There are 7
technically.
books.
8 technically, but mainly 7.
No, there are 7 books and 8 movies.
No, there are 8 books because one of them was a play and it was written as a book, which was a terrible transition to it. But it's still technically 8 books. But if you want to count the main series, it's 7.
Oh, disregard. 7 books.
I'll go with canon and go with 7. When the 7th book came out, I remember as a kid going with my whole family to like the release night, if you will, when the bookstores like would carry it out. And the line, this is crazy. I've never seen in my entire life, I've lived 25 years, never seen a longer line for a book release. There was a line. There was people were crowding into the our local high school, and the line was almost 2-3 miles long to get the latest Harry Potter, and that changed me as a kid because I only read the couple books, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to commit myself to reading this whole series, and I loved it as a kid. I loved the movies. I was very fascinated by magic. I haven't really been connected with Harry Potter since those books came out. I know a lot of people. What is that latest spin-off series called?
Fantastic Beasts.
Yeah, I know a lot of people are big. I'm not really big into Fantastic Beasts myself. I was more so enthralled with Harry Potter. And then Nick actually showed me. I think it was at the PlayStation event.
Yep.
The trailer for Hogwarts Legacy, and it took me back. It was that good to the days of my youth of reading Harry Potter and watching the movies. And I can tell that I'm really, really going to enjoy this open world wizardry type game that it looks to me like, at least what I've seen before, there haven't been very many big Harry Potter games besides the Lego ones that involved open world. So I'm very much looking forward to this. It's coming out the PlayStation 5 in 2021, and hopefully it can take me back to my youth as a wizard. You're a wizard, Harry.
Possibly a Wednesday stream. Maybe, but I have all the plans for a Wednesday stream, Luigi. Also, Carl, you're up.
Oh god, I kind of dozed off.
Oh, I put you to sleep, huh?
I know, that's not it.
Yes.
You need to like that.
Sounds like somebody needs to hydrate.
Yep.
Oh yes, indeed.
Carl, do you have any games you're looking forward to for next year?
For next year, I mean, I already said, was it Super Mario 3D World and Bowser's Fury?
Yep. Is that all though, right?
Well, I feel like that's all because I can't think of anything else that's like been announced, at least for Nintendo Switch.
Yep. I mean, so far for now, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, maybe Breath of the Wild 2, maybe if it comes out next year, but that's a huge maybe.
Yeah.
Can we all agree that Nintendo needs to get their shit together about Metroid, please?
Well,
yes.
There's some rumors that it may be announced, but next year, but we'll see.
Oh, if we're going for games like that we want to come out, all right, I add Nintendo Lands 2 to my list.
Of course you
I'm
did.
sorry, but Nintendo has dropped the ball with Star Fox and Metroid. It's a joke. I understand, like, Zelda and Mario are their biggest franchises, but please, we don't need a Breath of the Wild 4. Just give us a Star Fox or Metroid game. I don't understand.
I mean...
Or stop terrorizing your fan base when they're trying to make fan projects.
Yep.
Yes. That's a big one, actually.
Yeah. Anyway, but going on to my list, other than not counting Metroid Prime 4, Breath of the Wild 2, and Bayonetta 3, considering the fact that they have no official release dates, and I don't even know if they're coming out next year, kind of thing. So, other than those...
Metroid game coming out?
Metroid Prime 4 was like originally going to come out like probably a couple years ago, but it was due to the fact that while they announced it literally at the beginning of the Switch, but due to they were unhappy with the whole development, they literally scrapped the entire original development and restarted it, and now Retro Studios is back at it again. Which the original developers for Metroid Prime 1, 2, and 3, which I've played 1, I'm playing 2, and I'm gonna play 3 on my channel, streaming it, and it's all fun games.
I hope they do it justice.
Yep.
Yeah, it's pretty much they kind of just, I don't know, dawdle around in development hell for I forgot how long before they just brought back the original developers.
Because they have to keep making Zelda games.
Yep, but yeah, Metroid game they're working on right now. But going on the list of games that I'm looking forward to, other than, and I know I'm looking forward to 3D World Bowser's Fury, especially with the online co-op, because this is not going to be the same, because original Mario 3D World was all local co-op, and I remember Carl, Sean, and I actually playing a little bit and recording through a failed recording of it, and we had some fun. But due to the current situation, we can't do anything local play anymore until everything's settled. But with Bowser, about like 3D World and Bowser's Fury, it will all be online, so we can all play it as long as we have the time to settle down at the same time.
Although, how's the connection going to be?
We will find out. Other than that, I am looking forward to It Takes Two, because it actually is a fun co-op game. That one's definitely one of those, like, with the same developers of A Way Out, so definitely is one of those, like, I am just going to look forward to playing. Another one is Deathloop. It's a first-person shooter made by the makers of Dishonored and Prey. It's like a more comedic retro style where you have to do like a lot of time jumps and solve your assassinations on certain people in different ways. And it's like, that looks kind of fun and funny at the same time, because after all the trailers look like it's all making fun of like a 60s world but futuristic. So it's like, I think it's going to be fun. I definitely think it's going to be one of those, like, it's going to be a fun game to try. Back 4 Blood is definitely one of my games I'm looking forward to, because I've always wanted to play more Left 4 Dead, and playing the alpha version with James and Sean, I think it's going to be worth it, paying all that when it comes out in like June. So, and I basically consider it a Left 4 Dead sequel. So, but I definitely have a lot of memories with Left 4 Dead 2, and so like playing this game is gonna be a lot of fun cooperatively. Another game which is a little weird is Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga. I actually enjoy some of the Lego games, and the humor in this one actually looks pretty funny. I actually kind of chuckled at a lot of it, the humor, and so I was like, I actually give this one a try. Because this Lego games I'm getting into more and more Lego games, and I think this is gonna be one of those funny ones. And I want to get into the more of the Star Wars Lego games, because I've always heard those were like the best of the whole entire Lego franchise. So definitely looking forward to that one. There is, let's see, Halo Infinite. I'm a Halo nerd. I know there's been some hiccups with Halo 4. I played the co-op with James. We were not the biggest fans of it overall, and I played Halo 5. I'm not the biggest fan of Halo 5's campaign, but I'm still looking forward to Halo Infinite overall. I hope it's really good, so definitely looking forward to that. And then, as Sean said, the Hogwarts game, the Harry Potter one, I'm looking forward to that one. Same reasons as Sean. It looks amazing as any Harry Potter fan, especially since it's like it's catered to many fans. So I'm looking forward to it. I just hope it has some co-op so Sean and I could play together, but we'll see. And let's see, I think that is basically my list of games I'm looking forward to this upcoming year. So that's something I'm looking forward to. Any announcements I'll be looking forward to as well. Also, as a quick note, Kyle, I'm surprised you didn't put Psychonauts 2 on your list.
Oh, for anticipated games, I didn't really think about it. The games that are on my mind the most are Emily is Away and Imposter Factory.
Oh yeah,
so.
And also I forgot to mention, Imposter Factory is also one of the games I'm looking forward to as well. I played To the Moon, I played all the spin-offs and Finding Paradise, so definitely is one of those like I'm looking forward to. Kyle is the one who actually got me into it, and he just played To the Moon. And he's gonna play all the other series, like other games in the series before Pasta Factory.
In the coming months to recap them for people who haven't seen them, which is mostly Grace, because I didn't realize that pretty much everybody except for her in our community is familiar with the games. But
yep, so I recommend
maybe
giving him a watch.
Maybe some of the other followers who aren't in our real life friend group will enjoy watching those games as well. So.
Yeah, I have a whole stream recorded on my collections. If you want to find it, it's all organized by the lovely Emoto. Or you can watch Kyle's To the Moon playthroughs. That's also fine. Like, we have videos of it, so if you haven't seen it, give it a play. If you want to watch it, you can watch all the stuff or look on the YouTube. It's all great. I even got Sean to play it one time, the To the Moon, and he loved it too. But other than that, is that all we have to say?
That is all I have.
That's all I got.
That's pretty much all I have.
Let's put Carl to bed.
How about Disney Infinity? I never played Disney Infinity. But yeah.
Animal Crossing New Horizons.
Oh, yeah. And with that said, this has been an extra long 3-hour, basically, RetroBound Podcast. This has been our lists of games we played that were released in 2020. And then also games that we've played in 2020 that not necessarily released in 2020, as well as anticipated games in 2021. Thank you everyone so much for hearing and watching. My name is BlazerGamer112, and we got Digitsbby. We got
child.
You're not my child.
Sounders FC or whatever the hell mine. SeanQuinnSports.
Yep.
And PhantoYoshiVR.
Yeah. Thank you so much for listening to this podcast, and hope to see you guys in the next one.
2020 was terrible, but the games were all right. Boom. RetroBound.
Yeah. Bam.